I'll clap it in.
Clap it in.
There we go. This is supposed to say 104 Maloney 3000 because I don't actually know your name, but I didn't want to ask anyway because I like the mystique of it.
Yeah. Well, it's my last name.
That's your surname?
That's my surname.
What's your first name?
Chris.
Chris Maloney.
That's me.
Chris Maloney.
But nobody really calls me Chris except my family because their name's Maloney as well. But if you went after this and said, I just shot an episode with Chris, people would be like, who's that?
Yeah,
if they
who's
said
that?
Maloney, they might know, maybe. You know, it's more distinctive.
Yeah. No, I get it. What were we talking about there for a sec?
The year that was.
No. We were just talking about the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
This thing splitting out the center. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to tell you one last thing.
Yes.
We're just getting started, and I'm late today, which is why this seems a little bit all over the shop at the moment. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
But a bit of my, just so you know, how I control like the ambience, because I know you're interested in doing like
I'm about to start next week.
And this is obviously a very nuanced location. We've got like this bunker here, which protects us from the elements, but also it's a sound trap as well.
Uh-huh.
So what I do is I just turn the volume down on us and I just speak really low.
Uh-huh.
Like I get real close so I don't have to yell.
As long as, and then that way, as long as you can hear it. But see, I'm not used to wearing the cans, so you've got to tell me if I'm...
See, exactly. So we're just exchanging some podcast notes here.
This is it, Very high-end professional podcast notes.
But yeah, I mean, also, like you spotted before, I usually do 2 recordings in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm like if I raise my voice, like my voice will wear out.
Yep.
Like if I go to Revs, for example, which I haven't done for a very long time, like it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But I would be in there for like 5 hours, 6, 7 hours, and I'd be like, talking to people at the bar because I'm not a big dancer. I'm like a beer drinker, talk at the bar,
That's
just
why you're a podcast guy.
chat. Exactly.
Yes.
But by the time I'd leave there, the voice is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's gone for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So,
but you'd be old enough to remember when there was smoking in venues, right? 2007, that changed, right? And that changed the throat capacity a lot.
Yes. But yeah, that's funny that you mentioned that because I was there. Like, I was working in hospitality at that time. And I remember the one thing that the bar I was working in when that law came into effect was Trist.
Yes, I remember.
Do you remember the old Trist?
I do, with the big tree out the front, and now it's Leonard's House of Love.
Right, yeah.
I know my venues, man.
Yeah. Well, because I was listening to your first episode that you did with Late Nights in Coburg.
With Callum. That was the first ever episode 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great episode, by the way.
I had no idea what I'm doing. That was my first ever one.
It was a really good episode. Yeah, and I felt like he was overly complimenting you on your questions at times. Like, oh, great question, great segue. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's because he's done 30 and he can tell that maybe you're a bit nervous or something because he's your first
He's
one.
on a journey, man. He's on a journey.
Is he?
Well, he went from being the guy on Chapel who was the loosest unit, looser than me.
Really?
Yeah, big time too.
He seems so straight edge on this episode.
He'd started his sober journey. But Callum was in a band when I first met him called the Bareback Titty Squad.
Yeah.
And now he just put out a solo record called Everything is a Blessing. So you can see the evolution that he's gone through musically and the maturity that
Yeah. What is he Christian or something?
No, I think he just pumped too many party substances. And like a lot of people that do that, they go full in deep. Yeah. If you check out the second episode I did with him, so he is actually the second returning guest I ever had. Right. 150 episodes later, and he talks about his journey, and he went to like a place where you can't talk for 7 days, like a monk retreat.
Oh, yeah, they're called Vipassanas.
Vipassana, yes. Yeah. And then he got right into that, and then he did like a 100K marathon, and he's deep, man.
Yeah. And I like those endings, right? Because like I worked in hospitality as well, and you're like, when are some of these people when are you gonna stop? Like, you got 2 ways
100%
that this can go.
They're called lifers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And
it's like you're either a lifer and does it end well?
Well, no, because I know some lifers, and I'd say you know them too, who work not in hospitality but around that vicinity that don't have a license, that still live in share houses in their 60s, right? And that's fine. They've lived their life, but that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's literally a lifestyle choice that people make, and that's what they do.
I remember a guy actually. Yeah, I remember a guy who was DJing. He'd DJ everywhere, and he was like, I was like, housemate. I was like 20, and I'm 41 now, right?
Yep.
I was like, what do you mean house?
I
What
know.
do you mean
I know
housemate?
who you mean. I know him.
Yeah.
I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's great that we don't have to say the name.
Yeah. He lived with my partner's friend up until recently. Are we recording?
Yeah,
Okay,
we are.
okay,
We're
yeah.
totally recording.
No, he's a lovely guy, but I like him a lot. But yeah, but there's a lot. There's a lot of people like that who just live and they don't care.
Well, I mean, and that's totally like, no judgment on the way you live, but like, I think deep down, like we both, like, well, I certainly do, and a lot of just people generally admire people that show or demonstrate evolution in some way,
for sure.
which is why Callum's story is kind of like, intriguing.
Yes.
Because you've got that fork in the road, and you've got like, the lifer, and then you got Callum, and you know which one you're more keen to learn more about.
Yeah.
Like if you had to choose between the two, you're definitely talking to Callum like, wait, how did you get out of here? What's your blueprint? Tell me more.
But like everything in life, it's about balance. And no disrespect to people that go full, like, clean on everything. But I feel that substance or whatever it is still kind of controls you if you can't do it a bit. Like I have a balancing act with booze, which I probably drink too much, but I don't take other drugs. But I see people that go super sober, and it's like, first it's booze, then it's meat. Then last time I spoke to Callum, he's like, I'm going to cut caffeine and coffee out. I'm like, dude, what? Like, are you going to deprive yourself of everything?
Yeah.
Like,
Because going cold turkey becomes the new addiction.
yeah. Well, yeah, but you are replacing one addiction with another.
What else can I go cold turkey on?
Exactly.
I'm addicted
Because I
to
need that
now.
rush. The gym is a good one where I feel like it's good balance. You're doing something positive, you can still indulge and you can sort of undo your bad shit, and that makes sense. But when you go too hard into stuff, like I know people that only eat meat products. Like that's
weird.
Well, yeah. I know
I need like a vegetable in my burger. I want a bit of crunchy lettuce in that thing as
for
well.
sure.
You know what I mean?
But balance, man. It's balance.
Yeah. So, but when you actually said that in your episode one with Callum, you were like,
Probably.
you actually said in that episode that the thing controls you.
Yeah.
Even if you go cold turkey on it, and that's actually the first time I'd ever heard that perspective. And that was only like an hour ago. And so it made me think. I was like, oh, shit, yeah, because I've been going cold turkey on a few things.
Can you say what they are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll say what one of them is because I'm quite proud of it. And it's because it's got a personal, like, it's quite personal. But you know how, like, porn's gripped society? Well, I'm just like every other young man that it gripped. But it gripped me quite young because I was introduced to it very young, like in primary school.
Right, that is young, yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking Playboy mags and stuff then.
Oh, yeah.
Like
yeah.
videos and VHS tapes.
Yeah.
You're a bit younger than you. Well, how old are you?
I'm 41.
41. So you're 2 years younger than me. So very similar.
So it's like, it's the titty mags from the 90s,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then there's like the hardcore ones that were coming out too.
And
So
they sold them at like news agencies and everything.
you could get them at the supermarket at some joints, like rural supermarket. They were wrapped up in plastic for anyone that doesn't remember that kind of thing. And so that gripped me for a long time. And I had to go cold turkey. I tried to go cold turkey on it, like, a couple of times in my 30s. And it wasn't until I was, 39, just before, like 6 months before my 40th birthday or so, where I was fed up with a lot of things. And I was like, I've got to ditch this porn thing. Like, this is fucked. That whole experience of what you do when you're here with it, and I'm not sure if this is triggering anyway, but like, it's not me. It's not who I want to be. And I actually started going to church. Like I went back to Christianity, started going to this church in West Melbourne, and I went there just to have a look, right? And there's no correlation between the two, but what I'll say is like both of them happened between the week. I stayed going to church, and I never came back to porn.
Right.
And I don't know if there's a correlation, right? But I'll just say that they both happened within a week of each other.
Yep.
And every Sunday, I just keep showing up and I keep listening to good messages that I didn't have. I wasn't getting,
But you said come back to Christianity, so you grew up in that society.
My,
Okay.
my mum used to take us to church when we were kids. And that ended when I was about 13, I reckon.
Right.
So it was like coming back after, 20 years, 20-something years.
Yep.
So I just felt like, oh, no, the whole porn thing and, like, society and, like, moral bankruptcy and, like, personal, all that stuff that Callum was talking about in your first episode with him, of, like, when am I going to overcome this, like, person that I don't want to be? I just felt like I needed some support from somewhere because I'd tried too many times to quit the things on my own.
If you Googled how to quit porn, I'm sure porn sites probably just come up.
Probably.
Because it's triggering that word.
Well, there's a guy that's on Instagram, Zane someone, who's an American guy, who's like, his whole Instagram was about porn. And I think the first, like, 50 reels of his that I saw, like, quitting porn and, like, the negativity of the porn industry. It was like, first 50 was all about that, but then eventually he started to creep in his Christianity stuff. And this is, before I'd quit. So maybe that subliminally I'd made the correlation.
Yep.
But still, to this day, I just go to church every Sunday morning, and I've never gone back to it.
And so you call yourself a fully fledged Christian now?
Yeah, I got baptized this year. And when you say fully fledged, it's like, I'm not going to bash anyone with the Bible, right? But I have...
that guy's done like 5 laps.
So good. It's so good.
He'll be back in a second.
Yeah. But I'm not going to bash anyone with the Bible, but I appreciate, like, the spiritual structure that it provides. It's providing me.
There's some great morals
with.
In there, I believe, personally. Like, I'm an atheist or a agnostic or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know the correct terms, but I believe that there's a lot of good lessons in there and treat people like you'd like to be treated. And there's a lot of that good stuff.
Well, there's a lot of principles in there, like what you're saying, that our society is actually based upon.
For sure.
And that we inherently have. And so when you go in there and you sit there and you listen to the sermons, or you open up a Bible or whatever it is and you're reading it, you're like, oh, yeah, that's one of my morals.
But it can also, like the gym, it can replace one addiction with another.
For sure.
I had 360 on my 100. Podcast, right? And he went from cold turkey off drugs to into the gym, all that stuff. Then he found Christianity.
He was looking good.
Yeah, but then he found Christianity. And man, he said, like, he does 2 hours of Bible study in the morning. Like, he's obsessive over it, right? And that is another addiction. Yeah. And I said that to him, and he's like, yeah, I know, but yeah, it's like a good one or a bad one.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I'm like, okay, well, if I've been neurologically primed in this world to focus and to, like, achieve, right, which is what we are, right? We go to school, and all you get when you're at school is like, oh, learn the alphabet. And once you learn the alphabet whoever learns the alphabet first gets a sticker, right? And that's how we're primed for a long time. Neurologically primed as young people is to, like, achieve and succeed and, like, to hone in on a target.
Yep.
And then, like, that's kind of what you continue to do.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, you have to learn how to manipulate yourself.
Or break the cycle earlier,
Yeah.
My son started school this year. He's in prep, and it's interesting because I went to a kid's birthday.
He's in prep.
He's in prep, so I'm seeing this whole way that this stuff is working. 35 years later.
Yeah.
And one of his friends' dads, I was just doing the whole thing, like, hey, what do you do? Blah blah blah. And he sort of told me that he was, in a part of a church group, and he's actually taking his kid out of school because he wants to start his own school because he thinks that the values don't align with the Christian beliefs and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And I'm not necessarily on the spiritual same page, but I think the way that school works, it just breaks the kids down to be 9 to 5, Monday to Friday workers.
100%. It's an industrial revolution, sort of. What would you call it? Institution.
Yeah. Taylorism, I think. It's like the whistle goes, which the bell's the bell, and then you get there and you're ready to work for 6 hours and you have a break.
Yeah.
It is the system that we've got, but I think it needs a bit of overhaul. And schools are getting better.
Sure.
Like, since I went to school, like, there's, I chat to the principal and they come, hey, how are you? What's going on?
Yeah, but you never got asked to pick your pronouns when you were 5.
No, well, that's a whole thing that we haven't seen. I haven't experienced yet.
Yeah, which is good.
No, but
Because you being a kid, just be a kid.
be a
Just
kid.
go out and fuck, it's snot. You got snot on your face.
yeah.
Walk around with snot on your
Well,
face.
see, my son has long hair and it's blonde
Right.
and he's cute and everyone thinks he's a girl.
Right.
So he gets that all the time. And we're like, do you want to cut your hair? He's like, no. But everyone's like, oh, she's cute. And I'm like, she's a boy. And like, he goes through all that. But he doesn't care.
Nirvana.
But he always wears like tie-dye shirts and stuff that, could be kind of girly as well, which doesn't help. But that's just him being him. But he's definitely a boy's boy. He just looks a bit feminine.
Matter.
No.
He's just like what you just described was a 90s kid to me.
Yeah, he's a
Like
bit
you
like that.
literally just described the kids I went to school with out in Berwick.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was like one of the only dark-haired guys in my school. We're all blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids. About in
That
Berwick.
is at where we are on the peninsula. It's all blonde kids. There's no diversity.
Australiana.
Well, yeah. Well, where I grew up, I spent the first sort of 15 years of my life in Port Melbourne, and like I was the Aussie kid. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like they call you a cornflake kid, call you a can eater.
Port Melbourne.
Yeah, man, because there's all Greeks, a lot of Italians.
Really?
Well, we were talking in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Right? So where I went to a public school, and in that area, it wasn't affluent then, but it was on its way to becoming. So I went to the public school, and in that area, most people had enough money to send their kids to private school. And if you didn't, you went to the public school, and it was mostly kids from the public housing, and then a few, not all, but a lot was. And it was Aussie. If you're an Aussie, you were sort of kind of picked on. You'd give it back, but it wasn't the norm.
We're riffing so much, weaving, and I never like interrupting that, by the way, because this podcast just flows. But I did want to come back to. I listened to your first episode, Callum,
which is 2.5 years ago though, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
it's not recent.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. And then I started listening to your latest one with Chrissy, DJ Chrissy.
Chrissy Conroy.
Mm-hmm. Man, she's a legend.
A legend, yeah.
Like, it took a little while to warm up, but then she started dropping her stories, and the stories of like, being on PBS. That's what the bit. I haven't listened to the whole thing. I was halfway through when you started walking down the hill.
So Chrissy, she's done so much, and we spoke for a few hours. She is going to come back again when I've got a new studio space and just talk about the graffiti, because she didn't talk about that.
I thought she talked about it a bit.
She did, but look, Chrissy was part of. Look, hip hop culture has got different elements, but she was part of most of it. Got in through the b-boying stuff, then because she fancied a dude, and got into that whole thing. I went into a shop the other day, and the guy who she started breakdancing with or for, he was there.
Anton, was that the one? Was that the Anton one? Or
no, he was another graffiti
Prince,
writer.
CJ Prince.
Yeah, Paw Prince. Floor Prince, yes.
Floor Prince.
Yes.
Was that him?
He was,
You're kidding.
No, yeah. So he gave me his
wild is
number.
that?
He's going to jump on an episode hopefully one day when I've got another studio.
Oh, that's
too.
kidding. You could reunite the two.
Yeah, I don't
2 or 3,000 podcasts.
I think they've both gone their separate ways. But yeah, man, it's really interesting, and it's like I'm guessing you were saying the difference between the Chrissy episode and the
There was not much difference.
No?
You've been really consistent.
Oh, thanks.
But the reason I picked those two was because I wanted to see if there was a difference. Compliment you on like evolution, but visually there's a huge difference.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like I was listening to it.
Yeah.
Right. But then when I got it out, I was like, oh man, your latest stuff is just like really well produced. Like,
well, that's me doing it myself. Look, ironically, that first 25 episodes was shot in a professional studio.
Yeah.
But it didn't, because it wasn't mine, I couldn't make it my own. It felt like a podcast studio. So here, the aesthetics make a big part. If you did this in an internal studio, it wouldn't have the same vibe.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have the atmos. We wouldn't have old mate doing 15 laps down the street.
So funny.
And this is same as mine, man.
Santa. He's wearing a Santa hat.
But this is like my studio space I had, which is ever evolving. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I even considered bringing some paint in today and just giving it another layer.
Yeah. It hasn't changed in a couple of weeks. I haven't been here. I wasn't here last week. But yeah, I mean, it's really good. You're doing great work. I mean, we were talking earlier, and you're at what, you're at like 200 and something episodes now.
Yeah, I did 100 episodes this year. So,
Oh, shit, yeah,
so
that's
that
heaps.
was another little milestone. But yeah,
Was that a goal that you'd set?
No, I just didn't know what I look. I took a bit of a graffiti mindset to it. Like I don't even do graph, but I love it. But if you're new to this city and you want to do something, you don't talk about it, you do it.
Yeah.
Right. It's like you'd meet heaps of people. I was going to start a podcast and I was going to do this. You're like, yeah, you didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyone
All
can
the
have an
time.
idea, right? All the time, right?
Yeah.
So how do you go from being someone who is known in your niche of, the DJ culture that I was sort of in and, my hospitality shit to someone who's known in different subcultures? You just keep going. With the graffiti thing, if you're new to a city, you write your name as much as you can till people have to pay attention. So I was just like, bang, I'm just going to bang out episodes, which are just little tags all over the city, and then start evolving from there.
That's great. That's a great mindset. It's 100 this year, which means like you've done just, I guess, under half of your production.
Average of 2 a week, it comes down to.
Kind of wild.
Yeah, well, because, it was like I just would bank up episodes.
Yeah.
So I had access to the studio all the time. So I would be like, I'd be banging them out as much as I possibly could. Yeah. And then people would be like, when's my episode going to come out? And I'd be like, I don't know. And then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do 10 in 10 days.
Yeah.
Just get them out there because I don't like banking them. You know what I mean?
I've got to explain to the audience back home, if you're listening, there was a little bit of a glitchy, breaky thing that happened there that you won't notice as much, but Maloney's been sitting here for 15 minutes. Well, I had to go and buy another SD card because I forgot to clear the old one.
But that's all right, man. That's part of it. And that, you know what? They're the little imperfections that make it legit. That's one of the best things about not being in the studio. Like you see those podcasts, that's cool if you like that aesthetic, you like that polished pink purple lights and stuff. I don't. I like the gritty, unedited stuff. So that's all part of it.
And it comes with unedited, unhinged, unsanitized behaviours.
Unhomogenized.
Yeah, unhomogenized. But this one's totally the reason for this behaviour, that's totally in like as a backup. So what I do is I leave the old files on the SD card in case I accidentally fuck them up when I offload them.
Yeah.
And then when I get here, I usually press, I clear it, right? But because I was in a rush this morning, so I told you before, usually an hour to set up, but I was here like 25 minutes before. And you were early.
Well, I just thought I'd walk past. I didn't know if you were ready or what.
And you were early. Yeah. And so I felt like, fuck, he's here. All right, let's just do this. So that's why I didn't, that's cost me $40 and cost you and me 15 minutes of your time. So apologies.
Oh, we'll never get that 15 minutes back. No, I met some random people. I saw some serious influences in the wild type scenarios.
Nice.
Some people really loving getting a photo in front of the Soffles piece there. A lot of people that...
Oh, you can read that?
Yeah, well, it says Soffles right there, but yeah, no. That no, you can. I can read that,
you
but
can?
my mates painted there with him when they did those ones down there. I'm pretty sure there was a crew of them.
That's a thing about graph. Like I can't read it. I don't know what it says.
Yeah, well, so his style is quite whimsical. I don't know what the word is, but yeah,
It's
the
like
letter
flowy.
Yeah, the letter structure is there, and quite often he doesn't use outlines. He has used an outline there, but kind of
Sick.
to bring it into texture. Yeah,
Like it's sick.
it is sick.
Like
yes.
those cloud, like that explosion that's happening kind of there off the side in the background.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, apologies for that. But won't be doing that again.
Now you got a bonus card.
Yeah, a third one.
Yeah.
Well, I had this mad flashback of the card that I was like, you've got to put that back in your kit. You've got to put that back in your kit. That's sitting right next to my keyboard at home.
Yep.
When this went, I was like, dong, like a Ferris Bueller flashback scenario just happened in my head. So
Does it see? That's the beauty about the setup I've got. There's a screen, which obviously yours is more compact, but you can see how much runtime you've got, like a countdown clock.
on the SD card?
Yeah, because the SD card plugs into the main thing, and I've got a display.
Yeah.
So you can literally see how much it's creeping down.
Oh.
And then you could be like, oh, shit, I've only got 20 minutes left, and then pause and change it over. But, yeah.
Well, see, with this audio one, no dramas.
No.
That'll never be an issue with this.
And what about syncing it up? Obviously, you got the clapboard.
The clapper.
Yeah.
So that's no problem. With this one, though, like it could potentially be an issue, but I just bought a 256 card.
Uh-huh.
So I could record 3 episodes today off this card.
Uh-huh.
Right. But what I couldn't do is delete the files on the card that I'd already recorded of us before.
Yeah, and it almost, you almost need like a little mini PC or something you could dump them to or something. I don't know. Yeah. You've got so much shit.
Yeah. No, it's all possible. I thought about bringing a laptop and having a laptop here as well occasionally. Nah, it's just. But I like this setup. You know, it works. We were talking before I realised I had the existential crisis here. We were talking about Chrissy.
Yes.
And we were talking about how much of a legend she is.
She is.
And you were talking about how she was involved in all parts. Is that you?
I was sitting. Don't leave me here too long. I'm going to put stickers up, man.
I didn't notice that before. That's new. And you were talking about how she was involved in all facets of like the hip hop.
So hip hop, if people don't know, comes in. Well, look, it's arguable.
People don't know.
People don't know.
I don't know.
It's arguable, but look, the main school of thought is there's 4 elements of hip hop.
Sorry,
right?
Hello. Yeah. Yeah. So this is weird, bro. Yeah. Up here. Yeah.
So
I ordered us Domino's, bro.
there you go, Domino's.
Sorry, bro. Yeah, I ordered us a pizza to make up for the fact that I left you hanging here.
There you go.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you? Sorry.
Good.
Thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
Thank you. There you go.
That little chair.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
Thanks.
Cheers.
See you later. Thanks, Domino's.
Thank you. What did we get, man? What did we get?
We got I think it's what's it called? I don't know. It's a chicken pizza
Okay.
with cream on it and stuff, and then there's
Grab a slice. Oh, wow.
oh yeah. I'll help yourself to as much as you want, by the way. And
Thank you.
Garlic bread. Garlic bread will sit there. There we go.
I haven't eaten lunch yet, so that's good.
Okay. Well, I made up for it. I
Thank
think.
you.
And yes, we just restarted. He came way earlier than said he would.
Well, there you go. Domino's is always never too far away, I guess, in the city.
Yeah, well, I love having you were talking about homogenized, sanitized pink and green lights. Mm-hmm. That's why I eat on this thing.
Yep.
Because like when I have these conversations with people, we're always sitting down at like a restaurant, cafe, pub, whatever, eating, drinking, doing whatever. So for me, it's like just a normal part of two dudes having a chat.
For sure. It definitely is, man. And that's, look, this is a good experience because I would never order a chicken pizza, but it is good.
It's not too bad, man. Like, Domino's have done this thing where they just got some chefs in to get their ingredients sorted. Mm-hmm. And like, look, it's industrialized pizza.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I grew up in the burbs.
Yeah. I grew up around sort of St Kilda. There was always lots of pizza places. But now where we live, we eat with our neighbours a lot because they've got kids and we just kind of, hang out. And they're right into the Domino's. So I have tried it a few times. Mm. He's going for the new Guinness record.
I got the thin crust. I love the Santa hat. By the way, this is the New Year's Eve episode.
Oh, Happy New Year. Here's to 2026.
Happy New Year.
Yep.
So you
G'day.
You were talking about Chrissy and the hip-hop scene.
Yes. Okay. So I'll get it out this time. Hopefully there's no more interruptions.
Yep.
So hip-hop, for people that know.
I'm so sorry. Just as you were like, hopefully there's no more interruptions.
You need to interview those people. That'd be stories there, man. Melbourne Soft White Underbelly Edition. Wow. Okay. No, I'm going to get it out. Here we go. So, there are 4 elements. It's arguable, but 4 elements, right? Mm-hmm. So you've got DJing, MCing, rapping, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Breakdancing and graffiti. They're the 4 elements that came together about 50 years ago to make
breakdancing.
Right.
That's the one. That's the one that I wasn't thinking of.
Well, because look, the graffiti is also one that has evolved into its own thing. Street art has now it's probably as big a movement as graffiti in its own way, arguably. Breakdancing kind of went down its own route, and obviously the DJing and the MCing still is a thing. But in the old,
I would never consider Ray Gun part of the hip hop scene.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. Man, having to explain that to people, but no, she wasn't. She never really was. But like, breaking is kind of its own thing. But they're the original sort of elements that came together, the 4 elements, and they were supposed to be like in those. All the people that I talked to that have been in the scene since the 80s. You didn't just do one, you sort of did everything, but you kind of picked one that you were good at and you kind of went down that route more. The graffiti one was very, very low barrier of entry to people because you could pinch markers and paint from anywhere and you could go and do it and you could evolve. The DJing side of it's very hard because turntables were expensive, and even people that I know that have become exceptional DJs had to really hustle to get the records to do what they needed to do. Rapping, again, is something you can rap with your mates, but to record stuff back in the 80s is near impossible.
Yeah.
So all those, and so the four main elements, and people might argue that there are other elements to hip-hop, but that is widely agreed upon as the four-element theory of hip-hop. And Chrissy was involved in all four of them.
Man, after about 15 minutes, she turned into an epic storyteller. Now, like, I'm only halfway through that episode, but I was captivated.
Yep.
I was captivated by the whole got suspended and then my ratings went even higher kind of thing. She got suspended after playing NWA's police.
Yeah, and that whole sort of thing, man. And her stories, like, she
after they told her not to. That's for those listening.
Yeah, and before she came along, there was one radio DJ that she DJ C, I believe it is, who sort of paved the way, but she definitely took the reins and before her, like, some hip-hop historian will probably correct me, but no one was really playing Australian rap on the radio in any capacity. Now you do hear a bit of it on the radio, but back then no one was really doing it. And she gave people that were recording their own music in their own basements and in the school fucking, art room, a place to play their tunes online. Well, not online, but you know what I mean? On the airwaves.
Yeah. I'll try and catch some impromptu. Go on.
I
heard that.
She's somebody who I've definitely wanted to get on, and since, like, she's still super involved in hip hop as far as she knows what's going on, the fingers on the pulse, but she's doing her own sort of holistic living kind of thing, and breath work, sound healing, all that sort of stuff.
She's thinking about longevity now.
Yes, yeah. But look, to be honest, the next day after I recorded that episode, I went to a gig and she was there just as a punter with some other people. So she still is immersed in the culture, and I don't think she'll ever get out of that hip hop sort of thing. It's there.
You can't, man. No. It's what you grow up with. It's like, I say this to people all the time. Who you were as a kid is who you stay as an adult. Yeah.
Well, look, you can better yourself, and some people do the opposite of bettering themselves.
They evolve, right?
Evolve. Well, and that's the thing. But you can't. Look, a mate of mine, one of my best mates, Vosto, who I've been friends with for a long time, Jimmy Vosto. He says to me now, he goes, "Look at what we were like when we were kids. Everyone's still the same." And when he breaks it down, I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." And it is true.
Really true.
Certain things can happen in your life that may change the trajectory of where you go.
Change is inevitable.
Right. But you are essentially sort of who you once were, and it just. And then you kind of...
You're just more of it.
Yeah, and you change and you grow, but I think, like, relationships and parenthood definitely change people, mostly for the better, but some people not. And that's a growth sort of moment as well for a lot of people. It straightens them out. It makes them take their lives a bit more seriously.
Just taking me back as you're saying that. Yeah. Well, I had my kid at 23.
That's young.
Yeah, so she's 17 now.
Yep.
And, it was not a good time for me to have a kid.
Yeah, it's a tough time.
It wasn't the right time.
Yeah, but...
It was hard.
Yeah.
And like, the hardest bit was, like, Facebook's just come out. No, Facebook's been around for a few years by then. And so, back then, we were all about it. We're all on Facebook, sharing things with each other.
Yep.
It was, like, peak Facebook era.
Yep.
There I am cradling a baby at 3, 4, 5 a.m, trying to get it back to sleep. Quick, just jump on the Facey and see my mates are in Ibiza.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but...
That was hard.
Yeah, but, man, I don't know.
When you said parenting changes, it did. It changed me. I had to grow up. And then I came back to Melbourne and tried to regress. I tried to be who I was pre-baby, but more of it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even an intentional thing. It was that I'm back in Melbourne after 2 years, right? Like you were saying to Callum on Ep 1, you walk down Chaps
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, I worked at so you don't know this, but I worked at Trist.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at Rebs for like 3 months.
Yep.
I worked at 1-6 for like 2 years.
Yep.
I worked at Hoo Ha for about a year and a bit.
Yep.
Right. I went to school at uni at Swinburne Paran.
Yep.
And I lived on Rockley Road where the guy sells the flowers in South Yarra.
All right. Yeah.
Right. 3 doors down from the coma. This fella.
What are you talking about?
It's his podcast.
Who's that? Salt and Pepper? Salt and Pepper reference. Let's talk about you and me. You know, can I pitch a dart for a slice of pizza? Here we go.
Thank you.
All right.
We're back.
That was a timely interruption.
Yeah. Well, you got a ciggy out of it.
Hey, if they're going to interrupt your podcast, you've got to pinch a dart off them.
Yeah.
That's 100% my rule.
You know what I was thinking about before when you had your little break? I was actually thinking if this sort of scenario existed in the US, people would definitely be trying to capitalize on it, take photos, charge them to, you know what I mean? Like here, those people that probably don't have that much are just here. They're not trying to make money off it, you know?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's a great experience being here.
Yep.
It really is because, like I said to you before about like whenever I chat to anyone amicably, it's always just out somewhere at a pub, at the market, you know. And so I just found like I couldn't do a podcast in a studio because it reminded me too much of work.
Yeah.
So I was working in recruitment for like 4 years, and I'm on Zoom calls all the time, and I'm in the office talking to people. Look, I want to get out. I want to have this conversation with you in an environment where I feel like you and I would be able to talk more authentically.
The
Does that make
studio
sense?
it is like, from my experience, when I've started to speak to people that maybe were leaning more towards the criminal side of things, that in those proper studios, they're like, this feels like a police interview. You know what I mean? You've got the big lights, you've got like a boardroom desk. And so having, for what I was doing, especially talking to more people from that hip-hop community that probably weren't really, you know, about that
Well,
stuff.
I saw some of them were blacked out.
Some people are still active. Some people choose to not want their faces out there.
How do you do that, by the way?
I've done it in different ways, but my mate showed me how to. So there's a bit of a trick. What you want to do is light. You couldn't do it here because you got too much natural light.
Yeah.
You could do it at nighttime, maybe. You got to light the background behind them.
Oh,
and
really
then
strong.
Really strong. Light me or
And
you.
then-
Yeah.
And then not at all.
And then so turn it. But you need to have a controllable. Yeah. You'd have.
And then in post, you tweak the contrast or something maybe.
Yeah, you bring the I can't remember. On my camera, I know how to do it. Yeah, you just change the one.
Sweet.
But also with this, I don't know how that would work because can you change the settings for each lens?
No,
Yeah, see, yeah.
it's one unit basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. This thing's sick, by the way.
So does that take?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in our episode, I'm going to cut all that in.
Yeah, sick.
Everything we were pointing to, like old mate running up and down.
Yeah, he does it a
we're,
lot.
We're going to do a count.
What is he doing though? I get it. There's a bit of drug-induced psychosis,
Yeah.
but is he moving packages?
They're
or what is
trading.
he-
Yeah, they're doing their stuff. You know, their thing.
Right,
You know,
okay,
hence
yeah.
all the shoes up there.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
I just wasn't sure if he was. Yeah. There you go. He's just doing his thing.
no, it's really cool what you put together. And I found you online, and it just was like, oh, Melbourne's got a podcast. Okay, I was like, okay, this is great. This is really good, because I sort of became a bit of a I'm a proponent of the podcasting format. I'm a proponent of long form podcasting.
Yes.
Right. This is why these episodes go for like 2 hours, right? Because I think you don't get to know someone until you sat down with them for a couple of hours.
Correct.
And that like I said, with that first 15 minutes, it felt like, took her a little while to warm up. But then when she did,
Yeah.
it was just epic.
But this is the other thing about having your own space, right? So some of the other podcasts that might be in the pink and purple lights, You book them by the hour.
Oh yeah,
right?
that's where they get you.
So you book them by the hour. So if you only have it,
600 an hour or
oh
something.
yeah,
I've
I don't
heard.
know. I've never done it, but yeah, if you get if
Well,
you
you said you were doing
oh,
it.
that was through friends of friends,
Oh, okay.
and they were awesome to me, but they didn't put me on a time limit.
Sure.
But I know that some of the other ones you pay per hour, and they might have someone else coming in after you. So if you
Yep.
don't warm up for 15 minutes, then that's 15 minutes you've lost, and your episode is only going to go for 45.
Yep. Yeah, I got targeted by an ad yesterday of a guy that's promoting some new podcast studio somewhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not you. I'm not your audience, bro.
No.
I'll be out anywhere.
Yeah, and I think what would happen with so many of those studios is they would get people that do it for 8 episodes.
Yep.
Realize there's no money in it.
Well-
realize it's hard to do.
You've 8 episodes at 600 an hour is $5,000.
Yeah. But
Right.
you see it a lot though, even with people who have a large audience on Instagram or TikTok, and they think, "Fuck, how am I going to shoehorn this into something to make money? I'll do a podcast." And you see those people, the first 4 or 5 episodes, they have the professional studio,
Yep.
and then they go, "Hey, we're just going to do it at Steve-O's house from now on," because they realise the overheads are too high, and then generally they drop off. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, well, I had to keep this. I had to figure out how to keep this thing going. And I was originally my first 30 episodes. Most of those were online because of a habit that I formed through COVID. And it wasn't even COVID anymore, but I just kind of got these international people on that I'd found on Instagram, and it was a good experience. It was great. But then I was like, no, I miss the doing this. But I was like, I don't have a studio. I had an office that I used once. After hours, but I was like, no, I got to get this out on the street. And I did one on the back of a boat one night. It was audio only,
Yep.
just on the Yarra. I'm thinking
But
of going back.
this is the other character. The street. This is the third character.
Well, this bunker, I didn't even find this first. The first time I recorded here with Sean Collier, a comedian, we were sitting on these chairs.
Yeah.
Just there.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this a fire escape for a building?
Yes.
Are we obstructing a fire escape?
We are. Do you want to read that yellow sign down there?
Yeah.
It says emergency exit. Keep clear at all times.
I reckon they'd struggle to get that door open with the amount of paint that's on there, though.
100%. I'm struggling to hang my sign up on the hooks that I put up there 18 months ago.
Yeah, I've got a wall that a lot of my friends paint, and it's only been 2 years, and it's thick.
Yep.
It comes on thick.
It's thick. I have to kind of put the sign on like that now. But yeah, they're pretty cool. They if I'm ever here at 6 p.m., which I have been over the summer, the guy from the manager will come out and sort of just stand there and have a dart and just watch for 5 minutes, and then come and just go, hey, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll be done by then.
Because that's a business that operates out of this side.
That's the Forum Theatre.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I didn't realize we're that far down.
We're,
Okay.
we're going to get sound check coming
okay,
through
cool.
here.
Who's here tonight?
No idea.
Okay.
But there's a total opportunity.
Yeah.
All the bands that come in here, I should be going, hey, between your sound checks, if you're not doing anything,
Come around. Yeah, for sure.
they get big act. Obviously, they get huge act.
Yeah.
But yeah, my guest development strategy is flaky.
Guest development strategy. That's good.
It's flaky. It's like whoever wants to come on.
Yep.
It's like I get hit up by a bunch of open mic comedians
Yep.
here or there.
Yeah.
It's starting to be very comedy driven because those guys always want content
Yes.
and they got great stories.
Yeah, but that's it. You find your niche as well. I never intended. People say to me, "Oh, you've got a hip hop podcast, or you've got a graph podcast, or whatever." I'm like, "Nah, it's everything." But it has evolved into something that occupies that space.
But are you finding with yours that you just who do you like talking to the most?
I like talking to everybody, man. And look, I've spoken to some politicians and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some porn stars, which probably goes against what you
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
No, well, look. Unfortunately, it became a profession.
But yeah, no, I try and really mix it up, and I'll even look when we were talking about earlier, when I have episodes banked up, I'll even look at how I put them out so it's not rapper, graph writer. It's more ceramics artist.
So you are diversity focused.
I try to. Not diversity in the way of, I don't think about it in the way of cultures and stuff, because that. But when I'm talking about I'm just talking about the profession or the angle that episode has, so it just doesn't become too whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, if you've got comedians, they're great, but do you want 6 comedians in a row? You got to mix it up.
It's so true. And I have had 6 comedians in a row,
Right.
but then broken it up with someone.
But yeah, I think, and that's the balancing act, because the diversity, man. Like, and I like to learn about stuff that I don't know. Like, I want to talk to people about the things that I don't really know, so then I can learn more about it, because that's part of it as well. I really don't like, and you're not like this at all, but I don't like the kind of people that talk and have the questions written down and just because that's just. It's not flowing naturally.
Yeah.
You are fucking pushing it in the direction that you want that show to go, so you can ask the questions that you've got on your notebook. And I don't want to be like that. I want to be like, tell me about this. I want to learn. Let's learn about it with the audience.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the more I've produced, the less
Prep
I have.
you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's kind of like, it doesn't even matter.
No, just talk.
It's what comes up, and what comes up in a conversation with anyone in our lives is always what's the most important thing to talk about today, right now
Right
for
now.
us.
Yeah. And that's also what isn't great about shooting them too far in the future, because the relevance isn't there, which, but sometimes it can't be helped.
Exactly, and we're this is coming out till the 29th of December, right?
Right. So who knows?
Well, then that's a good segue, like, in a way, to like, all right, you told us before that you've produced 100 episodes this year, which is like on Rogan. That's Rogan-esque territory, right?
I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's prolific production, which is incredible. And so, what are you doing? What does your life look like outside
Well,
for you to be able to produce so much?
Well, I do have a business that I started, and I try not to talk about the specifics of it too much, just because I want to keep that and the podcast separate.
Yeah.
But look, if people looked, they could sort of figure it out. I work in the realms of hospitality, and I've built.
Heights.
Hey.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, Union Heights. No, I work in the realms of hospitality, and like, I just don't want my business to impact the podcast or vice versa. So I keep them separate as I can. Just, you get some people that you might say, hey, you're not the right person for the podcast, or you might get people that just get pissed off because you had someone on and that person did this, and I just don't want to fuck the business up. I built the business. It's been going for 10 years. I've got it to the point now where I'm reasonably hands-off, which affords me time.
Yep.
It's interesting, though, because people come into the studio and they're like, man, I heard that you're a trust fund kid. I'm like, nah. And they're like,
Really?
I heard you're a crypto millionaire. And I'm like, nah. And they're like, I heard you own this pub or something. I'm
That's
like,
great.
well, yeah.
They're
and
talking about you.
well, yeah, because I think people just look, how can he keep doing it?
Mm.
And so I got to the point when I moved down
Good question.
Yeah, it is. But I got to the point when I moved down the peninsula that I stepped away from the business. I have people that work for me. And I'm not making squillions, right? I should realistically have started another business and put 40 hours a week into that would maybe make money, because this podcast thing has made no fucking money. I'm in
Just
the hole
costs you
big time.
money.
Just cost me money. I'd say
Which is
upwards of
wild.
60 grand, I'd say. Yeah, man. Like, yeah. So
That is a passion project.
it is a passion
But
project.
it's like a car. Like if you were a car guy,
Yeah, it's a car. Yeah, it's definitely a nice car.
you were like SS Camaro,
Something,
kind
yeah.
of from the 60s kind of car guy.
I've got
you.
a vintage car.
You do.
I do, but it sits.
How much does that cost you?
No, well, that's the only way you can make money off cars. I bought a 65 Mustang for 19 grand, which would probably be worth about 45, 50 now. That's the only way you can ever make money off cars. I bought that 12 years ago. It doesn't have any seat belts. So when my son was born, my partner said, no, we need a grown-up car. So we bought a Mitsubishi, like, four-wheel drivey
But
thing.
you didn't sell it then.
No, I've got it still. But it's not registered and it's just chilling out. But anyway, that if times get tough, I can always sell that. I don't drive it. When my son is old enough, I want to give it to him. If petrol exists, I don't know.
Cool. Electrifying Mustangs.
Yeah. Well, the new Mustangs, the Marquees, are electric.
Right.
So they're just using the name for it, I think. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so I just decided I wanted to do something with my time.
Yeah.
And some people play golf. Some guys get on the bags. Some
true.
guys
That's true.
whatever. And I moved down to Peninsula, and I'm like,
true.
what am I going to do with my time? I started renovating my house a bit, and I'm like, I should start another business. And then these dudes wanted me to help them do some comedy stuff, and I'm not a comedian, but they asked me to do this thing, like where I was interviewing somebody. I'm like, okay, I did it, and they said, "Oh, how can we repay you?" And I said, "Oh, I've got this idea for a podcast. Can we shoot a pilot?" And they said, "Yeah." We shot the pilot, and that's the one you watched with Callum. And then I just thought, I like this. This is my sort of thing, and I just continued to do it. And that was 2.5 years ago.
That's wild.
Yeah, I didn't think. Look, to be honest, I thought if I did over 200 episodes, I'd be fucking at least making some money, but I'm definitely not.
Well, yeah.
I get some free T-shirts. Some people send me records. That's cool.
That is cool.
I get invited to stuff that I didn't get invited to 2.5 years ago.
Yep. Yep.
The Instagram is building. Look, I'm kind of, if we're talking about it from a entrepreneurial angle, I think I'm at the point where I can start to make money.
Yep.
But
How you?
well, the YouTube is monetized now, so
it is?
I make like a couple of $100 a month off YouTube.
Nice.
I'll have 500,000 views on YouTube this year, which is solid. But it's not. You need to make. Yeah. So that's happening. But so if this is coming out in December, this has already happened. But So are we talking the past tense or the present tense if it's happening next week?
Next week we're talking in the past tense.
Okay, so back in December.
So at the start of the month.
At the start of the month,
because this is the 29th.
right? At the start of the month.
So Happy New Year.
Yeah,
again.
Happy New Year. At the start of the month, I did my first gig in my mobile podcast studio. So
Sick.
yes, so I always had the idea of getting the show on the road, like literally going, like it is Melbourne, but it's like I've been shooting it down the peninsula, but I wanted to take it to Sydney, Adelaide, Brisbane, Tassie, everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I found an old 1967 Melbourne-built caravan, which is all chrome and silver, and you can check it out on the Instagram at 3000 Podcast. And I've decked that out to be a mobile podcast studio. I've tried to make the angles and
Click that thing into your car and tow it around.
Yeah,
like
but
a caravan.
I don't see, because I'm not a car guy. Instead of buying a car, I started a podcast. I'm driving my nan's car. They told my nan this year that she's getting too old to drive, and I was about to buy a new car, and she said, just drive mine for a bit. And I'm not fussy with the car, so I'm like, yeah, so I'm driving my nan's Hyundai Elantra.
But you can't tow your caravan with that thing.
No, I can't. So I do have to get a new car, and I will be giving my nan her car back, or we'll sell it. She can't drive it. She's getting too old.
I reckon there's enough love for your podcast for there to be a GoFundMe to buy Maloney a van or of some sort, like a ute, where you can tow that thing around.
But see, from all the podcasters that are listening, everyone says you should do a Patreon or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure, and you hear that, but you're like, okay, how many people are going to pay me? How much extra content do I have to do to suffice these people? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is there easier ways to make money? Maybe we start working for this guy, cut laps,
Yeah. Oh, well, easy. Easy. He's made $5,000 while we've been sitting here.
Talking about it. Yeah. No, but so I think there's at the point with the caravan, I'm hoping that I can get it to festivals. So the first one I did at the start of the month was at Jeff's Shed, the Oz Tattoo Convention. Yep. Oz Tattoo Expo, the Melbourne leg.
So that's next week. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, that's last week. That's 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. So that was the first one, and I'm doing that, and I did that, and then hoping to go to some more festivals around. So my idea is, hey, festival, I've got this mobile podcast set up. I can come there. You can pay me X amount. I can interview all your artists. I can package you up some content. You get publicity because we've got X amount of Instagram followers. We got this much. Everyone wins.
I think so. I think that's a win-win. That's a winning strategy.
Yeah.
And for you, it's getting out of the studio, right, and out places, being able to reach more people that you wouldn't. Because like your place out in the peninsula is a bit of a hike.
It's an hour out of here. Yeah, it is. But the thing is, like, at first I was like, are people going to come? And they did. Which is
awesome.
It's a cruisy drive, right? And the thing is, look, I lived in St Kilda for most of my life. Sometimes to get from St Kilda to Brunswick, it'd take an hour, right?
For sure.
If you just jump on the freeway, it's an hour. You're checking out the beach. There's hills. It's cool. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And on a nice day, people go to Go to the beach. It's a day out.
The Punt Road podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Sit there and clean some windows.
Yeah, for sure. Oh no, so it's evolving. It's evolving. It's turning into, you're turning it into something. And the thing is, like, I was talking about this with, actually my girlfriend. I was talking to her and saying, "Come on, I made her do a little YouTube video this year because she's a bit shy, right?"
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Oh, how do we work? How do we evolve you and work on this?" And I was like, "Come on, let's do a YouTube video." So I got my phone out and just started recording her. And anyway, she was really shy, and I was like, "What do you like?" She was like, "Oh, I like fashion and I like this." And then she posted it on Facebook and sent people on her Instagram the link to her YouTube, and she got people asking her, "When's your next one?"
Yeah.
Because she's a charismatic person, and but she's a little shy, and it takes a little while for you to get confident, comfortable.
Yep.
Like, I hated the sound of my voice when I worked in a call center,
Yeah, it's no one likes the sound of their voice.
but then eventually you get over it because you're like, okay, fine.
A few episodes in, when I was like, "Oh man, I hate the sound of my voice," blah blah blah. One of my mates, Finn, he goes to me, "Dude, you've sounded like that forever. We all know that's what you sound like. You're just figuring it out yourself." And I'm like, "Oh," and then that was my I don't give a fuck moment anymore. I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right, it is what it is."
Yeah, it's just me. None of those people think that.
They don't think it sounds weird because they've
Because
always known you like
That's
that.
what I've always sounded like. That's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, but there's also other moments, man, where you remember other people. Like I've had a music producer who's I'm not making music, but people have sampled my voice for starter songs and stuff, and I'm like, "Fuck, man, like I sound shit," and he's like, "Nah, dude, your voice is unique, and you can tell it's yours," and I'm kind of like, "Okay, I'll take that."
That's true.
Because everyone wants to be, or most men want to be raspier and deeper and more commanding, and I have
Let's do that.
a mid-high. Yeah, well,
I'm
like,
going to play with that right now.
I'm gonna struggle because I should smoke because I never smoke ciggies, man. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
I reckon it's for me. I've got an extra long neck.
Right.
I was born pretty in a bit of a mess, so I've got one less vertebrae in the lower part of my spine,
Oh wow.
and it looks like I've got one more in my neck.
So that throws your whole.
I've got an extra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just developed like that, and I learned how to manage it by having good posture and working out the right way. But it means I've got an extra long neck. So extra long neck means extra long pipe, means extra deep,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yep.
So it's a genetic thing.
It
you know,
is.
you know
And
what I mean?
the grass is always greener. You know what I mean?
Yeah, who cares how you sound? Like, you've produced 200 and something episodes. Like, you're doing the thing that most people want to be doing.
Yeah,
That people,
well, I guess,
people that
yeah.
look that look more the part, that sound more the part, that should be doing the thing, aren't doing the thing. You're
Yeah.
doing the thing.
Well, that's it. You just do it, man. You just got to do it. And that's like people say stuff, but doing it is it. Who was I talking to the other day? Brie Lanyon. She's a tattoo artist, and she's just evolving into doing more sculptures and stuff. And she said, like, the hardest thing to do is start. You just got to start, and that's true, man.
Yep. Yeah. And then once you start, it's about, because I've thought about quitting.
Yeah. Well, last I spoke to you before you were thinking about doing it.
Yeah. I'm thinking about quitting all the time, but it's not quitting for quitting's sake, right? And then whenever I do a project, because I've done the children's book, I did the skate lessons, I talk about this a lot, but like I got to the point with those where I was ready to move on to the other thing, and that's the thing. Like, so I had Kirk Pearson on. Kirk Pearson, he found you yesterday, actually, I think.
Okay.
I was chatting to him. I was like, "Oh, I'm speaking to Maloney from 3000." And he's like, "Oh, I haven't heard of it." And I was like, "Oh, check him out." So he's added you on Instagram, and
Okay. I gotta
he's
find Kirk. Okay.
Kirk, El Capitano Kirk. He's a Pikachu picture, right?
Okay.
He runs the coffee show with Kirk, right?
Oh, okay.
He started that podcast in March this year. And it's weird that you threw up the 60 grand number, because that's how much sponsorship he's got.
In this year.
Yeah, bro.
Because it's coffee. Yeah.
I was like gobsmacked.
How many followers has he got?
He's got, I don't know. He's
60 grand worth?
No. I don't know how many followers he's got off the top of my head. You could
Right.
see it. But he runs he owns a cafe,
Right.
He's with a business partner, and he started a podcast like 5 years ago with two other guys, and then they split, which is always the danger for you if you're thinking at home about starting a podcast. If you start it with someone else, then you've got a relationship to manage as well.
Yeah, but man, you're half the workload, you're half the overheads.
Yeah, but then
you
when-
can blame Steve-O because he didn't put the SD card in.
Yeah, but if you give Steve-O too much work, right, and then Steve-O goes and his wife gets pregnant and she's like, no, go and get a real job, you bum.
Fucking Steve-O.
And Steve-O goes,
Yeah.
now who's going to run the podcast?
I know.
You on your own? That's the thing. That's the trap with doing these co-hosty, podcasty things.
For sure. And I've had people reach out to me saying, hey, my son, or hey, I want to get involved. I want to do this. Can I come and just... And I'm like, until I can pay someone, I don't want to do any of that because you can't rely on them, right? And I don't know what I'm doing. So how can I... Like, I've had people go, can my kid do work experience with you? And I'm like...
Can my kid do work experience? Ha!
I've had a few of those, like probably about
That's
4 or
awesome.
5 of those. And I'm
That's
just like...
so good.
But I'm like, I don't have enough to show. Like, I don't know. I just turn the cameras on. I've got them all set up. I turn them on and I roll. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell them how to edit. I can't tell them. They need to go to an actual studio.
But that's the thing. People start coming to me asking me for podcast advice, and I'm like, well, that's imposter syndrome in a way. It's like, am I okay? They've seen something in me that I don't see in myself.
Yeah.
That's kind of almost like the universe telling you that maybe you need to start a side thing, teaching, training people how to set up a podcast.
For sure. You've got the mobile thing totally down.
But you've got the 200 episode kind of longevity
done
thing.
100
Tony.
episodes, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You build credibility through doing, right?
doing.
And so, oh hey, yeah, hey, there we go. Oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No. All right, one photo. Come on, get in here. Go on, get in here. Get in. Come on.
Very good.
There we go. Say smile. Say cheese. Oh, your husband. Oh, sorry. No. Husband. Sorry. Beautiful wife. Beautiful wife. Beautiful wife. I know. This is good.
Yeah. Is it usually this interactive?
Can be.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Can be. It's a mix. Oh, here we go. We got Louis Vuitton here.
Oh.
Here we go.
Oh.
肚子有点大，不好玩。肚子有点大，哎呦，灵啊灵啊灵啊灵啊！
Say hello to my friends in Beijing.
Right.
Hello.
Everybody.
Hello.
They're going to be disappointed when they realise you're not a big deal.
That's what I love about it.
哎呦，小了，
Sing a song.
sing a song.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sing a song.
Okay, I got a song.
That-
Happy birthday to you. Come on, it sounds better when you
Happy
do birthday to you.
Happy birthday, random people.
Happy birthday to you.
Hip, hip,
Yay,
hooray.
hooray. Thank you. When skies are grey, you never know here how much I love you. So please take my sunshine away.
是蛮好听的。
Yeah, mount me. Go on. Mount me.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
You've got to enjoy.
For sure.
And that's the thing.
So everybody.
Yeah, all right. Well, everyone. All right.
Sorry?
Your boss. Okay.
Oh,
Hey.
thank you.
You
Yeah, okay.
sing a song? No,
I
No,
don't sing.
We're not singing.
You sing a song.
But I don't sing.
He doesn't sing.
Don't sing. We just talk. We talk shit.
We just
you know?
talk.
Like a kakas.
Yeah, talk show. Not
singer.
singer.
No.
Yeah, not
They're
singer.
like- they're
Thank
not-
you.
yeah.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
They're
Not
gonna
faith.
they're gonna go home and tell everybody
No.
they met Guy Sebastian.
That's the best part. Go on, give me a kiss. Yeah.
Yay, yay.
Okay, this is the last photo. Last
Okay.
photo.
I'm off. Thank you.
Last photo. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Ciao.
Ah.
Yeah. So we're talking about the podcasting thing, right?
We are.
And we're talking about the credibility and the 200 and the 300 and people asking you about the 100, and the people asking you to have their kids as work experience people. And then, we're talking
Because
about...
they think the operation is bigger than it is, right? Which it's just me there by myself.
They think the operation is bigger than it is.
Yeah, they're going to follow us and be disappointed. But anyway.
Yeah, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. That's the thing about doing what you're doing is it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And doing it here, right? It's like, all right, well, there's two things I can do. I can go, oh no, we're busy, or I can just embrace it
And lean into it. Well, that's part of it. Look, if you wanted to do it in a quiet spot, this isn't the right spot.
It's not.
If you want to have interaction with people and always something.
Well, it's
to talk,
inevitable.
But you know what? You're never going to run out of content because if fucking you run out of stuff to talk about and your guest isn't that good at the banter, oh, that is your husband. Good on you.
Hello, sir. Last photo. Last one.
Last one.
Huh?
Yeah, you'll never run out of things to talk about because there'll always be random people wanting to get
thank you.
photos. Oh, no,
Next photo, $100.
$100. No. Last one.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
摸好了。
Okay.
Yeah, next photo is $100.
$100.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See?
Come on. I know that they've got freaking apples in their pockets. Nothing like Chinese tourists. Have you seen them open up their wallets?
Yeah, I don't
There's
know.
always hundreds in there. They don't even have denominations below hundreds. They
Well,
don't.
but if I'm going overseas, I'm not going to take out $20. You know, like.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let's see.
Yeah.
What have I got?
Anyway, this has been the most
I got
interrupted
50s.
episode. Oh, there you go. Boy carries cash. I spend my cash way too quickly. So, this is part of it. I have to embrace it. And it's fun, because I go home at the end of it and I go, oh, yeah, I recorded a podcast today. But I didn't just do that. I actually connected with people in a very insignificant way.
Can I give you a hint of
Yes.
something that I think would help you build your Instagram following?
100.
Right? Because you've got that power bank
Not
there.
that I'm not thinking of getting off Instagram.
You are?
But go on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's
No.
not gonna-
It's
Okay.
fine. I'm thinking about it.
All right. Well, what are you trying to build? Your YouTube subscribers?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to build YouTube probably, yeah.
Okay, right.
I'd say YouTube is a thing, yeah.
Here we go. This is what you do. This thing's called Smurl or whatever.
What's that?
SMIIRL, I think.
I.
Right?
Okay.
Double I. I think it's like Swedish or something. It's like this little ticker thing. It's got how many subscribers you've got, and it ticks over when people follow you or subscribe. So you got the QR code there. You've got the Smurl thing. If someone wants a photo, you've got to subscribe. Bang, ticks over. Yep, photo.
Smurl.
Right?
This guy's a genius.
But even just here, if people were here, they're taking a photo of the QR code. If you had a little thing that says, if you follow us here, you'll see this tick over. Help us get to thing, and you make them part of it. And then they get the instant bang.
That's
and
brilliant.
Yeah, man,
That's
it's a
brilliant
thing.
advice.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's what I did at the with the caravan. So then people, and then when they want a sticker or they want it, you go, yeah, just follow us there, bang.
What do you mean you did that with? So how much have you used the caravan?
I used it earlier this month
Oh, right.
because because we're in the future.
That's right. Okay, so that's what you did with the caravan.
Yes.
Oh, good. So you're doing the Smurl thing?
Well, I bought one. They're not cheap, I'll tell you, right? Because I've been holding off on doing it. But now that I'm getting out and about with the caravan, I'm like, okay, I need to, I want to try and make the most of this stuff. So, I bought, man, it's like $500. But, like, what's that? You get 500 followers, it's worth
It feels like a good investment.
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
So,
That's why I see all of this equipment. It's an investment, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The 360 camera, and totally an investment.
yep. What's one of them run you?
Like 900
Okay.
plus the SD card.
So with the editing, can you just go? How does that work?
Oh, you want to know about my post production? Okay.
If you want to tell me,
Yeah.
I'm curious.
No. Oh, happily. It's a bit of a process because it's a 360 camera, so it's capturing everything. So it's not like your typical thing where, like, you got a camera.
Yep.
It's just on you, and then you have a camera on your guest.
Yep.
And you probably got 3 cameras.
I got 2, but I am about to have a third. Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll have a third capturing the wide angle of both of you,
Yep.
right? So you've got 3 angles. So
Uh-huh.
you'll have 3 SD cards, and then you put them all onto your timeline, and that'll be all 3 angles. With this, it's just slightly different. I've got one angle of everything.
Yep.
And what I have to do first is run it through its own specific software,
Right.
the Insta360 specific software for this kind of footage. And I have to choose the angles. And then I output 3 angles. And the angles that I output, so basically, see how it's facing you?
Yep.
That's the angle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back into its studio, and then I'm going to slightly tweak it, and then keyframe it, and then export that.
Right.
That's Maloney.
Yep.
And then I'm going to turn it over to me and
Yep.
do a Louis,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm going to do a laneway one.
Yep.
Right? So that's my 3 angles, and then I'm going to bring them into DaVinci Resolve
Yep.
onto the timeline as those 3.
Which is free.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I've got the paid version.
Okay. Right.
Because I wanted one thing that I couldn't get unless I got the paid version, and it's totally worth it.
Okay.
It was totally worth the $500. And it's 501 off, by the way. It's not like Adobe that's charging you forever for a
I
lifetime.
pay for Adobe like $89 a month, and I never use it, man.
it's-
I use
it's
Illustrator.
criminal,
That's
bro.
it. Yeah.
It's criminal.
I need to stop that.
Yeah,
It's not-
for sure. And then what I'll do is once I'll get the you and me file, and then I'll create a split screen of that as
Right.
well.
Yep.
And so that'll reduce cutting back and forth.
And then when you want
So
to
I've got 4
run
layers.
your reels, you can go. Yeah. I like the way you do your reels with both guest and yeah.
Yeah, because most of the time when someone's talking, the other person's literally listening actively and reacting. So I noticed that once I started doing the split screen, I wasn't missing out on either my reactions to your stories or your reactions to my stories.
You know what would be good with this episode? The
Everything.
person talking, and then the cut to the punters as well.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I literally do. I do that with all of my episodes. Sometimes I'll just do it for 5 minutes. I'm like, fuck it. There's 5 minutes of me talking here. I'm just going to run the laneway while I'm talking.
Yep.
So if you catch this latest episode that I'm going to put out on this Monday or a few Mondays ago with Nick's son, there's a couple of bits where I just cut to the laneway. And look, sometimes it's just because like we've got like a group of babes walking past and like they're stopping and they're like doing these ones. Or like Mr. Santa Hat,
Yep.
you know, if it's funny. But sometimes people will come and talk to us
Yeah.
like these. And so, you know, I'll cut that in.
Yeah.
And I'll just raise the volume, like this microphone's capturing them.
Right.
And so I'll just raise the volume on this file, and
Yeah, you could never go back to a studio after you've
like you
done
can't.
this. No, you can't.
I'm too in this, and it's too. The possibilities are just too great. The only thing is, Kirk from the coffee show was like, "No, you need a camera up there capturing down."
That'd be good.
I've
Yep.
tried that with an action camera. It's sketchy because, you know, someone could,
Yeah.
but also the angle on these action cameras are too wide.
Yep.
So like we look really small, and
Yeah.
we have to zoom in, and it gets pixelated and shit. And see how we're dark in here?
Yep.
It's like it's a nuanced kind of thing. But
Yeah, you could have a little boom that comes out of there.
yeah, I could, but then, you know,
The more stuff you attach them,
you know, I'm carrying all that in this bag, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm impressed.
And then there's the trolley behind you, which takes the chairs and then I just wheel it up the laneway and go back to the office. So yeah, that's a bit of insight into the post production. And then what I do with the audio file is why I paid DaVinci.
Yep.
Is there's a little thing that they've now called AI voice isolation. You just click it, and then it's got a slider from 0 to 100, so you basically output how much of that voice isolation you want. And I set it at around 40,
Yep.
to the point where you can still hear these people, but it's not as prominent as what you and they're coming through for us right now.
Okay.
It's literally you and me talking like we're in a studio.
You can just isolate these 2 microphones, but that's picked up with this microphone too.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But-
So it just
But
knows.
it knows, and it'll cut it out. So
So that's worth the 500, I guess.
Oh, easily.
Yep.
Easily. And like for you doing this new venture with the
yeah.
caravan and in the festivals, you know, like I can totally trade notes with you over an hour Zoom call or something and show you
Yep.
on my screen what I do and how I do it,
Yep.
so that you're like ready
Yep.
and that you can like transform your post production a bit more
Uh-huh.
to make it more suitable for something that you're
Yeah,
less
I'll-
experienced in than I am, I guess now.
I'll
after-
let you in on something as well. I live switch all my episodes myself.
which is kind of wild.
Well, there's a
Like, I mean, like wild that it's like that you've got that capability. Like, I'm impressed. Wild.
no, but it works because there's only myself and one guest at this point in time. Generally, if you had 4 people, I don't know who's going to talk, but I'm talking now.
So what do you do? Just click, 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 click.
Yeah, it's like a switcher. You've just got it's like a black magic.
Oh, you use the black magic thing.
Yeah, so you just go bang bang, which I know if I had to cut to a
think's
third
great.
person, yeah. But so with Rode, what they do have now is that same sort of AI kind of thing. So when that person's talking, that mic will cut to that camera. The way technology's going, man, it's all going to be. You'll just need one camera. You'll just need, one universal machine, which will,
Well, the next setup is going to be, and look, that's if I continue. I've got another venture that I want to start, and I don't know if I can do them both simultaneously. So I might just take a break from this for a little while.
Yep.
But so DJI's just come out with a 360 camera, and it's got a way bigger sensor, which means it's better low light capability, and it'll be good. That's important for me because it gets dark here.
Yep.
When it rains, the light changes. So, but the biggest thing about them is they have their own microphones. You know those DJI mics.
Yeah. So you got lapel mics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one thing. Yeah.
So like it'll literally be the podcast production kit will be a 360 camera and 2 microphones.
Yep.
Right, and that's it.
The thing is, like,
No bag.
but
no
I tell
check.
you what, the thing is though with that, which is good. It's good for you logistically, but you kind of need these props because people come past and they
is
just
true.
see 2 dudes just sitting here talking.
true.
They think we're cookers, right?
I mean, like, yeah, that's true. Yes, but I mean, like for when I decide to bust it out in like a
Okay,
like I just met
Yeah.
someone interesting at this
that's true. Yep.
pub,
Mhm.
and we're going to talk for 2 hours anyway, and they're up for it.
Yeah, that's where what
You
you
know
want.
what, yeah.
You know what would be really cool if you found a little nook like this that you could occupy and then close the roller door, keep all your shit in there. Do you know what I mean? Like a tiny.
So in some episodes, sometimes you see that roller door going up and down, but that's storage for like I think the living room or something,
Yeah.
or the restaurant. But yeah, I mean, it's
How much could it cost to rent 2 square meters?
I should speak to the forum. I mean, can I? Yeah, I mean, I should speak to the forum.
Well, you say to them,
Can I work here?
and I'm going to make you content. And blah blah blah. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. The thing, and again, the hardest thing is getting it going, getting it to the point. Like if I took this caravan around the country without 200 episodes behind me, I'm just some dickhead in a caravan. Now I'm some dickhead in a caravan with some runs on the board.
With 200 episodes.
But yeah, like
3,000. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wait till you get over. Wait till you get up to Sydney. 3,000. Fucking, we hate Melbourne.
no, but yeah, well, that's it. No, I've got some ideas for that sort of stuff. I'm going
You'll
to do
change the name to the 2,000
2000.
podcast.
Well, potentially no. I'm going to have some merch that I'll do in collaborative fashions. Oh, here we go on cue. How's
There
that?
we go. That you know what? That always happens on this podcast.
Right.
That seriously.
So people come and just give you $1 million. Sponsorship comes and they just give you money.
Well, the first time that happened, Stephen Bradshaw, episode 47, started telling us a story about why dogs are banned on this Cook Island.
Right.
And literally, right while he's telling that story, a dog off a leash just runs up, like a Kelpie off a leash, just runs up the laneway. And since then, a bunch of things have happened. Like in 20 episodes later with Christy Russell, 15 episodes later with Christy Russell, we're sitting here. She brings a Basque cheesecake. She goes, yeah, it's better than cheesecakes from Coles. Literally a Coles delivery person with a trolley starts wheeling down here. Happens all the time on this podcast, man.
You got to manifest it. You got to put it out there.
I think so. And so thanks for dropping the $1 million thing.
Yeah. Well,
Look, I'll
hopefully.
take a tenth of that. You
Yeah.
know, but like Kirk, we were talking about Kirk before. 60 G's worth of sponsorship.
Is that a known fact, or are you giving away the secrets?
No,
here?
he said it on my episode.
So he's got not that many episodes, and
No,
because
he's got like close to 100. He's somewhere
okay,
between
yeah,
50 and 100 now.
okay, yeah,
So he's been prolifically productive
right.
this year.
Uh-huh.
He has.
And what's his podcast called?
The Coffee Show with Kirk.
Coffee Show with Kirk, and he's a barista. I take it.
Yeah, but I mean, he's quite a senior barista. He's a cafe owner now, and he trains baristas.
Yep.
So he does World Coffee Championships. Like his sponsors literally flew him to Milan to cover the World Coffee Barista Championships.
Yeah,
You
see,
know,
but
like-
you found a niche where there's money in it, right? And that's the thing,
That's the thing.
right? Like if your niche is somewhat loosely revolving around comedians. Comedians don't even fucking get paid. So who's
Exactly.
going to pay you to talk to
Exactly.
them? So it's a tough one.
I ask my guests to bring food, you know, and the comedians, let's just say,
Yeah.
they're bringing like stale hot cross buns from Coles.
Well, yeah, it's
And I don't ask them to bring food because I need to be fed, because it's a cool, interesting
thing,
like
yeah.
reveal that happens on the podcast. Oh, I brought you donuts.
Yeah.
But
But the thing is, though,
anyone who's not a comedian is always bringing like
I
premium.
didn't bring
shit.
anything, man. You bought
That's
pizza.
all right. That's all right. Don't matter.
Yeah, but there's so many different restaurants in the city now since when I was last here.
Mm.
I'm like, I want to try some of the, like, there's just so much good food around. Like, we are starved down the peninsula for, like, there is some good establishments, but we just don't have the choice.
Which is wild because there's money down there.
Yeah, but it's so seasonal. Well, there's a really good pizza place that's opened up near us. There's good establishments, but there just isn't the people there during the colder months to sustain things. You know,
I used to love going to Baja Mexican joint.
yeah, well, that's gone.
Oh, that's such a shame.
Yeah, that's gone, man. No, look, it is changing. The peninsula is changing. More people are moving down from Melbourne and opening places. But
Is that even possible? Because I thought that was pretty crammed down there as it is.
no, they are. Actually, the dudes who used to own a cafe here, Vacation. Is there a coffee place called Vacation? There goes a dog. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Where's the $1 million?
$1,000,000?
Where is it?
A lot of photo shoots. Influencers in the world. It's always
Yeah,
happening here.
it's crazy here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with the Asian tourists before was it gets like that.
Yeah.
Here. On
But
this.
they're going home saying, I met some real famous dude and he's a singer and he's sitting in a laneway because that's what they do. And they're going to, I don't want to, you know, say anything too derogatory, but they might be disappointed.
I reckon they're going home going, look at these two Australians. Stupid people.
But maybe they're famous and we don't know who they are.
Maybe.
They're like, they're thinking, well, we did it. We did those guys a favor. We got some photos with them.
Like their families looking through their photos and they're going, you mean two guys just sit around talking to each other, not earning any money?
Eating pizza out of a cardboard box.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those Australians are dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Passion projects.
I
I don't
mean-
think, a lot of places wouldn't understand that.
Yep. Yeah. Especially a country like China it's got a lot of history and, you know, those people, have you heard of the 7-Eleven thing? 11
No.
hours a day, 7 days a week or something like that?
That's how much they're working.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal,
Well,
man.
if they're lower class or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they don't have time to do passion projects. So, you know, as critical as I am of like, you know, the way things change in society sometimes, you know, and I guess as you get older, you start to see the things that we had when we were kids that they don't have anymore. Like, you know, riding your bike through the street. You
Yep.
ever see kids riding their bikes through the street today?
My son,
Maybe at Dramana.
yeah, my son's, he's just asked for a bike. He didn't want a bike, but now his friends
Has
are
he got
riding
a
to
little
school.
bike gang? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got two mates that he wants to ride with.
Yep.
But yeah, no, he wants a bike, which is cool. And he's got a skateboard. He's left plenty of skateboards around the house. He rolls around. We've got a mini ramp out the back.
Well, skate park kids are like the last bastion of real kids, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because being a kid back in our day, it was like you had to be out. So if you weren't a skater kid, you were kind of like, or a BMX kid, you were playing cricket or footy out in the street.
Yep.
But you don't see anyone kicking the footy in the street much anymore.
No, you don't. The further down you get, the more backyard space you've got, and that does happen. So it's a hard one to judge.
I grew up out in Berwick, so like
Yeah. Well, man,
we had space.
well, where I grew up, we didn't have space. My street was more narrow than this, and we used to play cricket in the flats, in the car park of the flats across the road, and we had no space at all. But that's what would happen. I had a basketball ring in my backyard. The ball would go over the fence all the time. Our backyard was smaller than here to that wall. But now we live in a place with a big backyard. We've got a mini ramp, got a
That's
basketball
nice.
ring, got a wall people paint.
That's good.
Yeah, man, it's good.
That's great. You know, it's good that you've come from wherever you came from. You know,
We weren't super poor, but we weren't. I just lived with my mum. She was a single mum, and we had a little house in Port Melbourne back when Port Melbourne wasn't that good. And then we moved to a flat, and that was it. So we weren't in the housing system or anything, but we didn't have much.
Yeah, but you're obviously a mix of like industrious kind of person and a passionate person as well. And so I think, look, you've given me a great idea with the smell thing. gave me another really great idea as well. Talk to these guys about producing content for them.
For them, yeah.
You know, in exchange for stashing my equipment there.
Yeah, you just go, I just want a locker where I put my stuff.
Then I
I'll
can
talk
quit
to
my
the,
job.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. You've just got to keep.
The only thing keeping me there is the fact that I can stash my equipment.
Yeah,
No,
well, there
that's
you
not
go.
true.
Oh, but that's the thing. I think I've never put a proposal out there for sponsorship or anything. I've never done it. And people say, why don't you get sponsorship? I haven't done it. Sort of loosely talked to a few people, but never done it. And you don't know until you ask, and that's partly my fault. But you don't know. They might be like, fuck, man.
Well, you don't know till you ask. You don't. Like, you're really right. Like, there's no... Yeah.
Like, and that's...
Like, but I reckon sometimes people are waiting for us to ask too.
Potentially. Like, it with the podcast thing, and you'll get it yourself, I'm sure, where you'll say to someone, hey, man, why don't you come to an episode? And they're like, oh, I thought you'd never ask. Like, you hadn't asked me already. And you're like, but we're close enough, you don't have to, or, you know. Yeah.
I reckon I've met some people that are salty that I haven't asked them. And I've just got this vibe from them. Like, oh, yeah, I've been watching you. You've had all these other comedians on the podcast. Like, for example, like they'll give me a hint and it won't even be that, like that. But then I'll just be like, oh, okay. Yeah, they don't realise that, like, I'm literally working a 9 to 5 and then my nights are spent working on this. I don't even have time to think about inviting people on.
No.
Like, if someone
it's good
texts
when
me and
people ask. I like it. But it's sometimes you've got to, like, you know, give them a few hoops to jump through. So if you make it too hard, then they don't follow through.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you've learned some of the strategies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had people that other friends of mine have said, why didn't you want such and such to do an episode when you saw them? And I'm like, oh, well, if they want to, they can. If they're mates with me, they can ask me.
Yeah.
It's more the distant acquaintances you know on Instagram not that well that'll message you like, hey, why can't I do your podcast? I'm like, okay, well, you fill out the form. And they're like, no, I don't want to do it anyway. And you're like, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, like, I had a guy once. I was like, oh, man, good guy. Met him at the skate park. We were getting along really well. I was just starting this thing, so I kind of needed to find some guests.
Yeah.
We were so chill. And then I was like, hey, man, I'd love to have you on my podcast. And he was like, not unless you pay me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I've had that once.
I was like, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, nah.
I've had it once when someone asked to be paid, and I said, look, I was just honest. It's only ever happened this one time.
Yeah.
And I'm asking a lot of people because they have to travel an hour. You know, it takes a whole day, right? I get that. And I said to them in a very diplomatic fashion, I said, I believe every artist should get paid for their time. But at this point in time, I'm not making any money and I'm not in the position to be paying guests. So if that's the way you feel. And the other thing I also know deep down, if they want to be paid, are they going to do a good episode? Are they going to help you promote it? Are they going to want to talk to you? Like, if they're not in it for the right reasons. But
that's really true. And I think that's why, like, the vibe that I've been getting from when, like, I listen to yours, whether it's through the reels or the episodes that I've caught, is that you know that the guest is there authentically.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they kind of want to be there.
Yep.
Like, you've got really good chemistry with people. So, like, you know, like, it's not contrived.
Yeah.
Like, once you've paid someone, I just get this sense that it's like, right, cool.
It's like prostitution.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Well, yeah, it is. It is. And it's like, all right, cool. What do we talk about?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you've engaged their service. It's not organic. And look, I know that a lot of people do pay their guests when they get to the higher end of that podcast thing, but that's some sort of shit that I don't even want to be involved in.
But wait a sec. There must be a bell curve, right? Because we're here, we're you know, we're not paying our guests. Then what you're saying is that at some point people are paying guests, right?
I know that definitely does happen but they know they'll get the return on investment from it, right?
And then you'll get like Stephen Bartlett or Joe Rogan or someone. You reckon they're paying people?
No, they're pitching to them saying, "Hey, can I be on your show? Can I be on your show?" So there would be a bell curve.
Why don't you skip the bell and just cut straight through?
But I know people that have been, like, not personally, but I can see it on Instagram where people have started a podcast early days. They get the high profile guests. How do they get them? Well, they've paid for them, but they see that as an investment because they would have got a certain amount of deliverables from that. I get X amount of collaborative reels. You've got 1 million followers, and we get this, and it's worth the $5,000.
Yeah.
And you see it happen. These certain celebrities sort of pimp themselves out to different podcasts. They do the whole circuit of the big ones, and because they're getting paid, but they make enough money off it that everyone gets to eat.
Well, I think I'm going to just swear right now that I'm never going to pay a guest.
Yeah. Well,
I'll pay him in pizza.
I will. I'll pay them
Hands
if a
night.
sponsor pays them.
Okay.
There you go. So
Okay.
if I get a sponsor on board that is giving me a budget for stuff like that, then maybe one day I'll do it.
That's great. I think that's the next stage. I think that's the next. Wait, what do we got here? We got a hens night. Hey, I love it. Yeah. So a lot of the time they'll come through doing a silent disco.
Yeah, that's grim. That thing, man.
man.
Oh, and the person at the front's like, whoa, yeah,
Yeah.
come on, guys, and you're like, that is the most cringy thing.
I know. I've seen it. Hello. This is fucking bizarre, bro.
Oh,
I'm
today
going to
it's
say
all
this.
happening. But see, if you had that smell thing here and gave them a way to interact because they want to, yeah.
Bro, that's the first thing I'm going to do when we jump off is look up the smell thing. I'll literally owe you one for suggesting it because
Well-
I think it's brilliant. You're right. Well, that's what the QR code's meant to do in a subtle way.
Right.
You know, that's what I'm trying to encourage, and that goes to my link tree as well. So they get to choose whether they want to follow me on Spotify or YouTube or Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll leave it up to you.
But what you should have stickers, right? That advertise your show. And if do you want a sticker? Yep. Hit this QR code, and that takes them there. You've got to like that thing. Yeah, take the sticker.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, it's getting dramatic. I reckon this has probably been the most interrupted episode I've ever done, by the way, and it's mostly my fault. I'd say I'll take 50% of the credit for it.
No, I think it's good. I'm so used to being stuck in my little studio where we don't have any breaks or don't have anything to stimulate you or just. You could sit here with anybody.
For hours.
We could come back tomorrow and we'd have a totally different chat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what's amazing about this. I think if I was in your position, I would lean into this stuff so much and be that guy around Melbourne that's really in the streets. And that kind of content could,
Could be, yeah. You're right.
if that's
Could be.
that's what you're interested in, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
well, that's the thing. Like, I've seen those guys on YouTube that are like holding the mics and doing things, and it's like
That's played out, that stuff. But I mean more you
Hawk
could,
Tour Girl comes on. You know.
yeah. You could also
Was that this year? Was Hawk Tour this year?
I think it was last year.
Was it
I
last
think it was like
year?
November last
I'm
year.
losing it.
I think, I'm not sure. But you
Hayley
could,
Welsh.
This is the thing, Hayley Welsh, yeah. But this is the thing though, man. You could
That's right.
lean into the stuff that you like. If you like coffee, you can go and do more of that coffee culture stuff and collaborate with him. If you like, the food scene or the comedy scene, I don't know. Like,
So, but clearly someone's said to you, let's collaborate at some point.
yeah, it happens, I guess. I'm going to MC a gig tonight, which is just through friends and people that I've met through doing the podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm hosting that for them, and I do collaborate with people. But as far as I've never taken my thing out of the studio, really.
Yeah.
I've done it with a couple of dudes who have helped me, like at Union Heights. They've done some events, and they've said, we've got a guy who will shoot some content for you.
Yeah.
But because mine is so stationary, I can't take it on the road. But I think with this, man, you could get a tripod. You're in a coffee shop here. We're in a coffee shop. Or, like, I just walked past before.
God, please be careful.
I just walked past Loon or whatever it is where you get the croissants from before.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of want to see someone line up and talk to all the dickheads in the line.
I got to cut to that. I'm definitely cutting to that. That's the dad in me that goes, look, please, just don't
Just
fall.
don't fall. On-
don't
before
fall.
your wedding day. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you get down? Good question. Please do. Yeah. Well, no. This has definitely been fun. Like I didn't expect.
Yeah, I didn't expect to like you, Maloney.
Well, I didn't. No. I didn't expect to ever talk to another podcaster. And Kirk was like just a few episodes ago. He was the first one.
Yep.
Oh no, Labsy was.
Well, Labsy, look, Labsy, I know Labsy's a podcaster, Labsy, but if you're a podcaster, you need to get yourself a proper camera and a microphone.
I agree.
You can't use your phone.
I think Instagram Live isn't podcasting.
I would agree with you.
I didn't even realize he called himself a podcaster until he did, and then I just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
But you're right, like it's kind of not. I'd say you've got to at least
Own
have
one piece of technology.
like a thing in front of your face. Yeah, that you've But look, I
credit to him that he's-
kind of admire his persistence.
Yeah, he can do it. You can definitely do it. But I think good on him for having a crack, and he is doing it, because a lot of people say they're going to do stuff
No,
and they don't do it.
He,
So
he does.
He's doing it.
He does
He's
do
doing
it. And he's consistent. He's like going live all the time. I'm like, every time I open the gram, it's like Labsy's going live again. Labsy's going live again. I'm like, flick that up. I'm like,
But-
I don't watch anyone's lives.
Well,
I'm too busy creating shit to watch shit.
Well, you know what I
saying?
did very, very briefly, because people came and started talking to me. But when you went to get the SD card, I went live. I'm like, well, what am I going to do here?
Sick.
So I went live. But you could go live here and just sit here some days waiting for guests
Yeah.
and just talk to random people.
Randos.
Because Instagram pushes the live shit so much.
Does it?
They want everybody to go live. And you could just people watch here. I should have been going live this whole time.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Like, we could. You're right. And I think it's just, part of my strategy has kind of been to do things incrementally. So it's like, well, I don't have a podcast, and doing that kind of high-end production podcast, like I'm a big believer in, like, you take the baby steps. And that's why I sort of disagree with, like, the studio thing. With someone going, right, I'm going to start a podcast. Cool, I'm going to drop $5,000 on a studio and I'm going to do this, because they do fizzle out.
Yeah,
right?
they do.
But I'm all about, like, all right, what's the minimum viable thing that I can do? Well, we'll get a mixer and get some mics. And that's why I didn't start doing video till episode 30-something. 40-something.
Yeah.
I started doing it. Was 47 was the first, 42 or something was the first video. 47 was the first 360 one. Because I knew all I could handle at the time was audio only.
Yeah.
I didn't have the headspace to figure out how to do video as well.
It's a lot of moving parts, but the thing is, with technology, podcasts have evolved to people want video. So
Yeah.
like 5 years ago, anyone could get away with an audio one. I think now, if you say to someone, I've got a podcast, and you just put up a reel with just audio, they'll be like, what is this? We live in a visual world now. We need that.
I agree, but I've had experiences with the reels that I made that was just audio, with a photo on them, right? Because I weren't video apps, that people really liked and gave me big props for, and got a lot of big compliments. Oh, they were like, I love the way that you do things differently.
Because that broke from the norm. Because they're seeing all this visual stuff, and then you go against it.
Yeah,
It's like negative space.
Yes, exactly. And then, so when I started doing video and I started doing these, I was like, I still need to find a way to do them like my way that's unique to me. And that's why the split screen thing is kind of my style.
Yep.
Because I don't just want to look like another this homogenous thing.
Yes.
All right. It's important to me that I promote, like, through virtue of my own actions, you don't need to be like everyone else. You do your own thing.
Yep.
And make it work. And keep exploring it. Keep pushing it until you come to the next frontier with it, right? Because that's where that's where things happen. That's where possibilities.
For sure. It's like people that are writing an album, for argument's sake. They don't listen to any other music in that genre that they're making because they want to not have influences. So they're like, I'm going to make, for argument's sake, a rap record. I'm only going to listen to country music and shit for now. Well, yeah, you don't pay attention. If you don't know what else is going on within your genre, then it's not going to impact you. There you go. That's pretty sick.
There you go. He's got his Merc lowered.
Tough 500.
He's got a V8.
And it's a cobblestone lane is not the place to drive a lowered car.
Yeah, he's got a Ford Falcon V8 in his Merc.
Sounds tough though. You almost forget that cars can come down here.
Oh, this has been the most weirdest episode for what's happened out there.
Yeah.
I reckon this is not normal. How much of this activity we might get? One car and one dog. Right. I'm not talking a car, a dog, a bunch of Asian tourists, a hen's night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I had to run off and get an SD card. What else? Oh, we had Santa Claus, man.
Yeah, pizza delivery. We had a fair few tears for some individuals who looked like they'd seen better days. We've seen a lot.
Oh yeah, and I got Siggy.
You got Siggy
girl.
Yeah.
So it's well, I'm glad that you've got to experience this and
Yeah.
experience this full spectrum of it, and you know, come here and check out my equipment and see what's possible with such a small setup. You know, I
Yeah.
think what you're doing is great. I love the way that you are giving, I guess, people who don't have as many channels to get their stories out to, like, you know, and this recent episode that you put out with Chrissy is a great example of that. Like, she's totally someone I'd want to hear from. But
Yep.
I mean, I'm not going to download PBS from the 80s.
No, but people have got those archive tapes. They are around, which so you will be able to hear some of that. But yeah, man, that's the thing. And look, I love when I've got a small but loyal audience, and I love it when people find somebody else through there. Like, I've got mates that are staunch hip hop heads who are like, I loved the episode with that fine artist. That was amazing. And they never knew about them, and then they discovered them. Or you weren't that across the whole hip hop scene, but then you find out about Chrissy and you're like, oh, this is interesting. So that's a really, really cool thing, man. And I've had people come up to me and be like, I knew that person for 25 years. I'd never heard this story from them. Because it's not every day you sit down and tell your life story to your mates.
Yeah.
So there's been so many cool things that have come out of it. And yeah, I just want to keep doing it for as long as I can.
Well, I hope you do get sponsored.
Yeah, but it's a fine line. But I haven't gone down that route because for different reasons. And like, I don't want to lose creative control.
Well, I don't think you do have to.
Well, you've got to have a big enough fan base to be to be unfuckwithable, if you know what I mean. So I need to be able to be like, hey, I've got 50,000 monthly listeners. I've got 50,000 Instagram followers. Just you believe in. I got to hear. Yeah, I got to hear doing it my way. So don't try, because I don't want to be like, say I get a sponsorship, right? And they're like, oh, you got to talk to this person, and I don't want to talk to them. And then all of a sudden, oh, but you've got to also mention that Gatorade's got a new thing. Like, I don't want to do that.
You can sign deals. You can create the terms of a sponsorship deal. You know that.
No, I know, and I will. I just want to make sure the niche that I found myself in. Yeah, cool. Got some free T-shirts and some records, but these people don't have the money to put behind it. I need to make it bigger than that. The tattoo convention's a great way to get more people. You know, like that sort of thing. Yeah,
it's tapping into money, isn't it? For sure. But Kirk said there's not that much money in coffee in Australia, and I was like, bullshit.
Well,
I'm addicted to coffee in this city.
Well, I know a guy who owns a coffee roasting and coffee distribution company down my way, and he said that and this is what you wouldn't know unless you're in the coffee business, the beans are going through the roof, but you can't pass all of that on to your customers because then someone else won't. It's a competitive market. So apparently he's watching the price of coffee like it's the stock market.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, we're running a loss this time because we've got to get this many out. And
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. And you wouldn't think about that unless you're in the business.
It's a weird, it's a commodity. Yeah, Kirk was saying, I didn't think their margins were that tight on fucking $8.50 lattes, but you know.
But it's all your overheads. And look, this is the thing that's fortunate but unfortunate about the country that we live in. Everyone gets paid reasonably well, but that means that the consumer pays for that. Right? Now, if you want to get $29 to pour lattes, that's fine, but it means your latte is going to be $8 instead of $3 where it might be somewhere else. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, for sure. It's like going to Bali.
Yeah. Well, it's not cheap really anymore. You know?
Yeah.
And but everything gets, what's the word? When there is some juice in it, they'll figure out a way to squeeze it all. You know. I'm
this shit.
Yeah. Hey,
I love it.
get into it.
No, it's been good. And so, look, I guess to wrap up, you've put out 100 episodes this year. What are some other highlights of 2026?
Of 2025. We're not that far in the future.
2025, before 2026. That's what I meant.
Man, to be totally honest, this has been one of the... Hey?
Any personal highlights?
No, well, man, but I'll be honest with you. This has been probably the toughest year for me personally.
You're kidding?
Nah, it's since my mum passed away. 22 years has been the toughest year for me. A bit of personal stuff has happened, my family and shit like that, but it's like we're okay. Like, I'm still with my partner and everything. Like, we're not breaking up or anything like that.
Yep.
It's just with my extended family. We've lost some family members and just some infighting shit and just stuff that's been headaches, and it's been tough for me, man. So it's been a really hard year personally for me, and I said that to someone the other day. I'm like, this has been the toughest year since the year my mum passed. So there's been some highlights, but it's been I've started therapy, started to get on some medication, all sorts of shit, which has happened this year, and partly that was to do with me putting in too much, trying too hard. And also,
What, with the podcast?
yeah, man, because I was shooting 5 episodes a week, 2 a day
Which
sometimes.
is crazy.
And then you got to edit them, then you got to put them out, then you're helping this person.
I have
with
no
that.
idea how you're still alive doing it.
But then, yeah, and then my son started school, so there was a fair bit going on there. But
1 episode a week is fucking hard.
man, I was doing. There was weeks when I did 10 episodes in 10 days. Like, well, they're not a week, but a fortnight.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I
so
do.
I just and I would still do gigs, and I would still commit to other things, and I overdid it, and it kind of my auntie passed away reasonably quickly, and I just went back the next day. I had 10 MCs come in the day after the funeral to record a cipher in my studio because I'd committed. I'm like, I can't stop now. And then I went back to the episodes and I never processed it. And and then I basically had a breakdown, man. And I started speaking.
This year.
Yeah, not that long ago. And like in the last sort of 6 months, and then I started speaking to a psychologist. And another thing that was really hard was I talked to all these people, and a lot of creative people, pretty much all of them, have got a lot of trauma. Mostly everyone.
Who doesn't?
So I'm sitting there, and these people will leave, and they'll call me, text me, man, that was amazing. It was like a therapy session. I feel so good. I got it all out. But I was acting like a therapist with no training. And so what I've found recently, and that was part of the shit that was breaking.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, and I was doing that 5 times a week. And not all of them are hard. But if you talk to somebody and they've been abused as a child, or you talk to somebody who has systematic trauma from something, and you're taking it all on, and you're just sitting there and engaging with it. And I've got a therapist, and they're just like, look, you're doing too much, and you're trying to do too much, and I would say something and then hold myself responsible. I'm like, if I say I'm going to put out 3 episodes a week, I'm going to put out 3 episodes a week, and I'm going to do a freestyle rap every week, and I'm also going to do this other bonus content, and I'm going to make sure my business is okay. I'm going to take my son to school. He's going to go to basketball. I'm going to pay the mortgage. I'm going to do, like, I'm just like, yeah, I've got to do all that stuff.
Yep.
And it just got too much for me, man.
Yeah.
And so I took I took 2 weeks off, which I already had enough episodes. And then I'm like, okay, I've got to just chill. Like I've done enough this year and I don't need to hold that high standard. And then I've just decided to go back to 1 episode, and then moving forward next year, I'll do maybe 1 or 2 a week, and then another project as well, but not overdo it.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Well, it sounds like the addiction thing that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
in a way.
I think it's
Were you going in? Was that your gym? Was that?
I started going to the gym. I started going to the gym as well, which helped. But yeah, I don't know. It is a bit. It definitely is an addiction. It became an addiction, but it also. I don't like disappointing people, right? Like, yeah, sure, you can't make everybody happy, but if you say to someone, "Yeah, we'll get you on soon," and then they're like, "Man, we've got to do this before my show, or my record's coming out, or I've got an art show, or whatever," So then I kind of like, "Yep, cool," and. Yeah, I had the business built to the point that I didn't need to put that much time in. I'm like, I'm just going gung-ho on this thing. Yeah. But I figured out I need to chill. But yeah, there was plenty of highlights, but there was definitely some lowlights. I'm hoping 2026 I'll be in a better spot mentally.
Well,
hopefully.
It sounds like you're putting in the work to do that.
Yeah, man.
You're paring back off the podcast. You're starting the gym. I think your podcast production also gets a chance to improve as well when you give it some breathing room.
Yeah, I need to go for quality over quantity, which I was just trying to bang the episodes out.
Yeah, which is kind of what I've tried to do this year. But my reason for doing it was to see if I could have some level of consistency. That's not what you were suffering with. You already had consistency. You were trying to push.
Yeah.
Me, I was like, I'd come off 2 consecutive years where I'd done 20 and 20.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's not enough.
Yep.
Like I want to know if I can actually do this consistently.
Yeah.
And I had to change my life in order to make this work. I had to stop going out Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah. The consistency for most things, especially something like this, which people consume, consistency is very important. You can leave people hanging a couple of weeks, but after that, someone else will probably do what you're doing better, Yeah. So you can't let them creep in.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So keeping it consistent is important, but also making sure that you don't deviate from what you originally intended to do. But the positives that I did find when I was banging out those episodes, man, I had a lot of people to collaborate with. My Instagram interaction was going up to 500,000 in a month, right? You'd see the followers come through because you're getting interaction with all these different people. So there are positives and negatives, but I figured out that my health and my mental health is not what worth it, you know.
And I just think, it's got to be easier than that.
Yeah.
You know, look, I had this experience this year, right, where I basically my boss was like, "I've got to let you go.
Right.
We're losing money.
Yep.
Like with businesses." And I had known this for a little while, but he kind of was burying his head in the sand. I wanted to address it.
Is it a big company?
No, a small company.
Right. So it's.
He's like, "I've got to let you go," and there was a thing in my head where I was like, "Oh fuck, this is not good," because I know what it's like out there at the moment. I'd been working in recruitment, so I know what it's like out there at the moment. People are off the job market for months.
Right. But you'd have a bit of insider knowledge of how to get recruited.
Oh, well, I did.
Yeah.
I did. Exactly. Right. But there is like, this is a thing that they've been talking about a little bit lately at church, right? It's like, you got to stop believing that you're like everything that happens in your life is because of you, like the energy that you put in. And that's a really hard thing to accept because, like, obviously, you know, it's like a Newton's law of like an action. You know, that for every action there's an equal opposite reaction, or what's that, cause and effect, the law of cause and effect. You know that if you take a step forward, that's what you did, and then, you know, or that if I apply for 100 jobs, I'll get one. So we have this tendency to kind of want to really lean into like grasping and doing more and like this and that. And then me in that moment was like, the first thing that hit me was, oh shit. Like the second thing that, like, immediately after I was relieved, because I'd had trouble with this business for a little while, I was like, this guy keeps burying his head in the sand instead of addressing things, and now we're at the point where he's got to let me go. So I'm kind of relieved that I no longer have to have that battle with him anymore. But then I was like, I'm not going to do what I normally do. What I normally would do in this situation is panic and go and fucking apply for as many jobs as I can.
Yep.
You know what I did? I came back into the office the next day, picked up a few things. Boss is like, this was really bad of him, by the way. But he goes, "How's the job hunt going?" I was like, too soon, bro. I was like, too soon. And I literally said to him, because I had decided, I said to him, and he's a Christian, I said to him, "I'm going to leave this to the man upstairs."
Right.
I literally said that to him, and I did not apply for a single job. I didn't. But I did send one guy a text message just to say, by the way, next time, because I work in a co-working space, by the way, next time you walk past my desk, I'm not going to be here. So it was nice to meet you and good luck and everything.
Yep.
Guy sends me a message back saying, "Oh, all the best. Sorry to hear that." Week passes. I still haven't applied for a job. Literally, I'm like, no, leaving this to the man upstairs.
Right.
For real. And I'm like, honestly, I was about to say, honestly, Chris, but honestly, I'm at this point starting to think about panicking. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know what I'm not going to do is default to doing what I think is the thing to do, the right thing to do, which is go out and apply for all the jobs. Because I know that doesn't get me results. So I literally prayed on it. I prayed on it, and I was just like, and I don't know what I was doing those days, but I was, a week later, this guy, same guy, texts me and goes, "Actually, I think I've got an opportunity for you."
Were you familiar with his business?
No.
Okay.
They have an office next door to ours. That's it. We walked past and said hello in the morning. That's it.
Yeah.
Didn't know what they did. Didn't know anything. He goes, "Come in on Monday and have a chat." Come in on Monday. Lays out the perfect job for me. Right? Something I'm very good at doing. Right? I'm very capable of.
Money's all right?
Yeah. I got to name it.
Right.
I got to name it. I got to name my start date. I got to name my job title.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Praise the Lord.
There you go.
And you know what? And their stipulation was 3-month contract. We do this with everyone because that's just how we go. No worries. 3-month contract ends 30th of November. That's tomorrow, today, or a month ago. Right? So I've got 3 months to prove myself. Get to the end of the 3 months, which is Monday, just gone. all right, what have you done? He knew what I'd been doing. Like, we'd been collaborating quite a lot, but he'd been overseas. Comes in, sits down. All right, show us. Blew him away. And he goes, yeah, great. We need to rework your position, though. So how about you write the job again,
Wow.
wrote the salary again, right? Gave myself an increase, and starts 1st of December.
Amazing.
And this was all off faith. This was all off faith of going, right, what, like, inside me, for some reason, I've built this habit of panic, pressure, of putting pressure on myself, of, like, reaching out and applying for a job I know I don't want and going to an interview and failing it and then being demoralized from that thing. Like,
It's a rough process.
yeah, why would I put myself through that again? Look, I'm just lucky that whoever's looking down on me, I'm very blessed, okay, to be in the position that I'm in. But I was in trouble. I didn't have more than a month of runway financially, with my commitments. So not spending 2 weeks just sitting on the sidelines going, alrighty, any minute now, wasn't like the wisest move. I would never advise someone to do that. But what I would advise anyone to do, someone in your position or that past position that you were in, is like, take the foot off the pedal and just think about the result that you want and just watch it emerge. Like, literally just watch it emerge. The thing will come around, the person will text you, the right thing will happen at the right time.
Yeah.
It is hard because it requires faith, right?
Yeah.
And I say this to people. Everyone in life has faith. Whether you have faith in God or whether you don't, or whether you have faith in yourself or your community or your mum or your job or your employer. We all have faith. It's just, where are you placing that faith? Are you placing that faith in the fact that you reckon you can get yourself to the next stage? Because there's going to be a time in your life where you're going to go, I don't have the answers for this.
Yep.
I don't. And that's what I said. That's what I said 18 months ago when I went back to church. And that's what I said again in July when my boss let me go, and I was like, I don't have the answers.
Yep.
And this all came out actually in an episode that I did with the guy who I'd spoken with, who I'd seen speak. The church runs a business night, and this guy who started a physio business out of his garage, Jason T. Smith, ended up turning it into a $100 million exit on the stock market, right? He spoke at my church. And the last thing he said was that he had a really tough decision to make between 3 businesses, which one to sell his business to. And he didn't want to let his staff down, so it was a really important decision. He didn't have the answers. So his board, who was a board of Christians, they said, oh, why don't you pray on it? And within 3 days, what happened was 2 of those businesses fell out. One of them said, oh, no, we can't buy this business anymore. And the other one was asked for the terms to be changed. And so the third one was like, no, we'll accept all of your terms. And they were the one that revealed it. So I went home that night and I went like, well, I'm having trouble with my employment. And like, my job just seems hard. It just felt hard so long. This guy buries his head in the sand. It's just, everything's so hard. It's like, I need to pray on it. So I did. I was like, I literally said, show me the way. Like, I don't have the answers anymore. Show me the way. It was 9 a.m. the next morning when my boss let me go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So because I'm not a praying person,
But
do you verbally do it or do you do it in your mind? It doesn't matter.
it's I verbally do it,
Right.
but it doesn't matter. You're like, we all have a spiritual connection, whether it's Mother Earth or whatever. Your grandma, who passed away, or aunt, right?
Yep.
We all have a spiritual connection. For you, that's your business, how you manage that, right? It's no one else's business. It's not the church's business. It's not the priest's business. It's your business, how you manage your spiritual connection to the higher powers that have gotten you through some time. Like, if you were honest with yourself, there's been a time in your life where you're like, oh, I reckon someone's looked after me here.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I think so. Yeah.
And so that's a spiritual connection for it. So whatever you thank, or whoever you thank for that, you're like, oh, thank the lucky stars, or thank whatever. That's up to you, right? But I think it's just about when you get into these places where you're like, I'm burnt out, I don't have all the answers. It's about, learn to ask St. Peter or your aunt looking down on you.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. You are right. There's with the whole Christianity thing, I think it's good, and there's some great morals.
And that's not me trying to push that on you, by the
No,
way. It's
I
just telling
know.
you a story of like letting go when you don't have the answers.
But the thing is that's I think interesting, and I get down YouTube rabbit holes like everyone, right?
Yeah,
The more that I get into that sort of stuff, the more I tend to believe in an afterlife and in that sort of thing. Like, the near-death experiences, I love that stuff on YouTube. Like, I get right into that. And that tends to make people who weren't believers into believers, generally, or the ones that I'm getting in my algorithm.
Your algo. That's
Yes.
good. It's a good call out.
Yeah, and it's interesting because people come back from that and then they generally are, for lack of a better term, sort of much more spiritual than they first were. But I tend to wonder whether that is psychosomatic, or whether it is the drugs that they may be given for whatever condition they've got, or it is something. Who knows?
Yeah. And look, I don't take drugs. I don't. I mean, alcohol, I suppose, coffee, I suppose, but like I don't drink too much anymore. 2 beers and I'm cooked now. So for me, it's like I don't have a support network, and I've made enough mistakes in my life to now be at 41. Like I don't have like if I fail again, it won't look pretty.
Yeah.
Because I've got grey hair now. I have to compete in the job market. I've got to play my hand that I have now quite carefully.
Yep.
I'm still on the table.
Yep.
Right? I've still got chips, but I've got to play this hand more smart than I did in my 20s when I believed I had. And I did. I've come back from.
You can take
failures.
risks when you're younger
Yeah.
because you can afford to, right?
But this time I'm like, no. I need something with me at my back, and I chose to have that kind of form of spirituality alongside me, and it has really helped me to go, oh yeah, I don't need to have the answers here. Maybe I can ask for an answer to this. But the things that have happened in the last 5 months to my life,
Can you put that down to positive vibes and do you know what I mean as well? A positive mindset, and the fact that you have faith in something makes it easier for you than having the negative.
Maybe yeah, exactly. Who am I to prescribe how the Force? And yes, the Bible does say, it's but whatever, it's okay. I'm open to how it comes about, but maybe it's the positive energy that I'm carrying along. Here's another example. I had to do something at this new company, right? And I was getting resistance from other stakeholders, and they weren't my main sponsor, but they were like other stakeholders. And I was like, I went home and I talked to my girlfriend, and I was angry, and I was just like, I just need these people to get the fuck out of my way. Right,
Yeah.
and then you know what I did? I actually was like, just pray about it, and I was like, dear God, can you help me get these people out of my way? You will not believe what happened. The next business day, when people were in the office, one of them came up to me and said these words: "Hey, I'm not in your way, am I?"
Were you honest?
I said, oh, well, let me just show you what I'm trying to do. And then they were like, oh, okay. Well, as long as I'm not in your way, just do what you need to do. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't say yes. I just said, well, just hear me out for a sec. And they're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
The week before, it was like, no, you're not going to get to do that. I was like, that's crazy. Used my words.
Yeah.
Used my words, which were get out of my way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you call it positive energy, you call it whatever you want. But for me, it was like an acknowledgement that I don't have the answers here and I need help.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And
And you've gone and sorted it through psychology, and which is a very intelligent move. I think we all need to do therapy. I need to do therapy.
My therapist ditched me after 2.
Were you kidding?
Yeah.
You were too intense for
No,
it.
I don't know. She we did two sessions, and she said, "Hey, I don't think I'm the right person for you, but we'll put you into." And then I got another one, which I don't really feel happy with, but I've started the process.
My therapist needed to go to therapy.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think because she was younger, maybe it was
Yeah.
she didn't have the answers, and I had some issues with like family stuff, and I think maybe she couldn't relate to that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, she ditched me.
It's pretty interesting. But
Yeah. Like imagine you had like issues with that and then they dump you, That'd be hard.
honestly, I thought that was against their code of ethics, to just let someone go.
Oh, well, it's within I'm doing it online because you can't find anybody in person.
Oh.
So it's really hard, especially down where we are.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it online, and then she just said, "Look, with someone else from our company, I just don't think I'm the right fit." And then she palmed me off to someone else, which I don't feel that she's the right fit. Anyway.
Yeah.
And we just keep trying.
Ah. Okay. And is that through like an app or something? Is that through like Headspace?
It's through it's through I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, it's not an app, it's just via email.
Yeah.
But it has been kind of good, but the worst thing about starting again is you have to talk about all your childhood trauma again.
Well, that's the thing about therapy is that I'm like, is it how helpful is it? Because I know that talking about the traumas and the things that, like that's kind of a way of reliving those experiences.
It is. And it is, but I think once you break that ground with that person, right? Like if I told you I've got these issues with my dad and he abandoned me and blah, 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 then you know that.
Yeah.
So then next time I see you, I don't have to retell you that if you're my therapist.
Yeah.
And you can say, how are you going with those issues?
Yeah.
But when you get a new person, you've got to keep fucking talking about it.
Yeah. It's like you almost want to ask for your file.
That's
from the
the
last
thing. And then
person
you have to go through it all again. And
You read the file, so I don't have to talk
talk
about.
And she said that, I go, can you pass on my notes? And she did. But then the first one with the next person, I just had to go through it all again. And then I'm probably going to have to do it again. But I think the end result is right because they told us about vicarious trauma and all this sort of stuff that I was taking on because I didn't know how to manage these chats I was having. So I would go
These are
home.
to be clear, these are your podcast chats.
Yeah. So
These aren't chats that you're just having on.
Yeah, I know. So then I would go. Man, there's times when I've gone home, and just started crying to my partner. I'm like, that was intense. Like this person was adopted, and then they got abused, and then this happened, and then they ended up in this psychiatric thing, and I'm like, I went home, and I'm just like, I can't fucking take this anymore. Like it was a lot, and you just sort of sit there and like, so I
Darcy.
yeah. So I need to
Yeah.
I need to figure out how I need to find the right person I can talk to so then I can even go to them when I've got trauma from other people.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Because professionals know how to deal with it and compartmentalize it and let it go and right. But I didn't. I'm just listening to people's stories going, that's messed up. And taking it on myself, plus with my own issues and then
That's pretty interesting. Actually, I never would have thought that was all coming from the podcast.
It's not, but there was multiple layers of stuff. So like my mum died when I was young, but then my auntie died, and so she was like a bit of a female mother figure, which brings all that back. But then my son, like I've got my son now, take him to school. My dad wasn't around when I was a kid, and so like I go to my son's like Father's Day thing, instead of hanging out with my son and enjoying it, I'm like looking at this poor kid whose dad's not coming because that was me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So all this school shit is coming in now, and then I'm sort of approaching my dad, going, "Hey man, you weren't there when I was a kid," and he sort of didn't care.
It never ends, by the way.
Yeah, and
Never
so
ends.
well, it does because I cut him out of my life. I made that decision, and that's one of the hardest things I did this year.
Yeah, in that way it does. But like, I just thought, like all these things that you're talking about, it's like I remember when my kid got picked on by, my ex called me up and said, "Oh, your daughter's just angry just because the teachers are picking on her." And then I went to my flashbacks of when I was in primary school and teachers were literally racially picking on me, and I was like getting all angry and stuff. Yeah. And it's like there's going to be these triggers that just continue to come in. Now she's 17, and now there's those triggers. There's like, oh well, what's she going to do for work? You know what I mean? It's like it just never stops.
It never stops. And I think what the hardest thing is for me, obviously my son's a lot younger than your daughter, but I don't know what the world's going to be like. And I think every parent's always had that stress. They all think about, oh, what's the world going to be like for them?
Sure.
But
in the 90s, when we grew up, our people were like, the 90s are fucked. It was way better than the 60s.
Well, yeah, it's always like that. But the thing is, I honestly don't think I know or anyone knows what career path to tell a young person now, because is that going to exist? Sure, construction and trades, definitely. I
100.
think, right? And if he wants to get into that, for sure. Anything else, like most young kids now, they want to be a YouTuber, right? Like when we were young, everyone wanted to be a rock star or a footy player.
I still want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah, and I do too. But when he says that to me, I almost feel like saying, yeah, that's a good idea, because I think personalities will still exist in 12 years' time. If you,
They'll be more important.
I think so. The individuals. So I kind of almost want to say, yeah, cool. But you know what just happened is they stopped all young kids from being on social media.
It does, and that includes YouTube.
Yes. So my son yesterday had not a tantrum, but he got very upset. And my partner got upset a bit at me. She's like, he's had a big day. You shouldn't have told him now. But I said, look, in 2 weeks, you can't use YouTube anymore. And he was just like, what? And I'm sure there'll be certain things that pop up like YouTube or whatever. But yeah.
Hang on, wait a second. Like, some people have got YouTube on their TV at home.
Yep. I do too. But I'm not letting his Mr. Beast mess up my algorithm. But no, I don't. Look, I think YouTube.
I'm not letting my Christian white supremacist bloody algorithm impact my child. No,
but yeah, he'll have to get used to it. But look, I think with YouTube, a lot of kids their parents will just leave their account and log in. I think that's what'll probably happen. But I'm using it as a good example for my son to be like, you don't need to be on that iPad all the time,
And imagine if you were like making a mint as like the YouTube version of the Wiggles.
Yeah, but this is only in Australia. It's not global, right? So it's not going to put a dent into that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Just in the local market, you're right.
Yeah. But this is what I believe will happen.
Yeah.
I believe that all the kids won't be able to have social media, which is and YouTube, they might even workshop that and come up with a way to have kids. Like that might change. But with the Instagram, kids don't want to be on Facebook, so they're not fussed about that. Instagram probably, and TikTok is the one that they're probably, and Snapchat.
Yeah.
So they'll make kids when they turn 16 get a digital ID. When you get a digital ID, you can connect it to your phone, and then that way you'll be able to. So they'll get everybody who's now under 16 to all have a digital ID moving forward, because they know the older generation aren't going to do it. But if they can start with the 16-year-olds, and then that generation, they'll all do it because they want to be on Instagram or whatever it is.
Okay, well, here's a story for you. My kid calls me up during the week from schoolies on the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Right, she's 17, so she's not old enough to go into bars and stuff yet, which is great for me. Really stoked about that.
Yep.
But,
sorry.
But anyway, she's like, she's got this wristband on her. She's got a wristband on.
Yeah.
Like what you would get when you get. And she goes, "Oh, I've got to keep," and it's got a QR code on it. And I'm like, "What's that?" And she's like, "Oh, it's a wristband with a QR code." And I was like, "Oh, is that for the festival thing later?" And she's like, "Oh, no. You got to wear this all week when you're at schoolies, and you can't take it off." And she's like, "It's got all of my identification on there. I had to submit all of these papers and documents to them to allow me to come to school as a schoolie." And I said, "Oh, okay, that must be like a way to deter like toolies and stuff, from coming and taking advantage of young girls and stuff." I said, but at the same time, that's pretty fucked. And she's like, she goes, "You have no idea how hard it was and how many things I had to submit to get this QR code on her wrist."
But the city still has to operate without schoolies. Like, there's people that unfortunately would be up there.
They live there.
Yeah, exactly. They have businesses.
Which is kind of wild. It's wild.
The Gold Coast is a funny place, man. Like, even just to visit that Cavill Avenue part, I find hard work. Southern Gold Coast is okay.
Yeah.
But
love the Burleigh Pavilion.
Yeah, that's good. I like even down further, like, Tugun and that sort of spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I could live there. But yeah, I was shocked, and I was like, okay, well, this is it. This is it.
These kids, it's very normalized to them, right? QR codes and stuff like that is just normal to them. They don't know another way. So I see it when I'm just at the pub or whatever, and there'll be younger kids that come in for a beer, and they'll go straight up and ask them for their ID.
Yeah.
And they don't pull out their wallet; they just pull out their phone, right? Because they've already got the digital ID.
Well, I refuse.
And I think a lot of people, we're guys in our 40s, and we don't want to be told what to do.
Well, exactly.
But this is how they're getting the younger generation, because they're not going to get us.
They cost this thing costs like what $1,700 these days for one of these.
Yeah.
This is hey, government. This is not for you. This is for me. I'll do what I want on this thing.
Yeah. No, I think
I don't want to have my Mikey on here. No, this is not for my Mikey. This is for my This is for my gambling apps, which I've got off, by the way.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's gone completely from my life.
Yeah, and I think they need to change the advertising with that sort of stuff as well.
It's crazy,
man. Can I tell you something about this gambling thing?
Well, I'm loading up SBS Chill,
right?
And there's a fucking sports bet ad on there.
Yeah, it's not right.
It's out of control.
See, I grew up with my family. My Maloney side of the family are all gamblers.
Mad gamblers.
Come from Port Melbourne originally.
Okay. Oh,
My grandpa was a bookie at one of the pubs there. It's just in our blood.
It's a TAB Central.
Yeah, and my friend actually sent me a photo today. He's at the tab at the pub with my nan. They're punting on the horses. My mate and my nan.
That's fun though.
Right. Well, yeah, it's kind of funny, but
punt. It's a punt with a nan here or there.
Yeah, and then last week it was my uncle's 60th, and everyone's just watching the races. And this is what my family does. They came to my 40th at a venue that had nothing to do with gambling, made them put a TV on so they can put Channel 7 on. We've been at a wake, at my auntie's wake, and people are putting quaddies on. Like, this is not a joke. This is my family, man.
Crazy,
right?
Man. That's crazy.
That's how normalised it is in my family, right?
Oh, yeah. That's extreme.
Extreme. So, we live now down there, and that side of the family still live in the city. My son, I'm breaking this cycle.
Yeah.
He is not going to think gambling is normal.
Yeah.
So I don't have the races on at home. If I am going to indulge in something like that with my family, here's $50 to my uncle and put me in the quaddie because that's what we do. But my son is not going to watch that.
Yeah, you've got to be this middleman.
No, but they would almost, because they own they're not like big time, but they'll own slices of horses. They're friends with people who are in that scene. You know, they go to the race. They do all that stuff.
It's Australiana.
But I don't like it, right, anymore. I did when I was a kid because it was just normal. But now I'm like, nah, fuck, I don't like that shit anymore.
Well, that's because horse racing has been a sport for a long time.
Yes.
And it saw Australia through the Depression and fire lap, and there's a lot of great stories that came from that sport, right?
Fire lap's from New Zealand.
The bookies, yeah. But it won the Melbourne. It won like a lot of races during that carnival.
Did heaps of things, yeah.
Yeah. But you know, like I'm just saying, like now it's all about gambling.
Yeah.
It's not about the race anymore.
No.
Like you wouldn't sit there with your mates. Like none of those people that are at the tab would sit there with their mates and watch the horse races.
But can I tell you something though? They sort of, people are riding. Some people, I've got friends that will watch races they don't punt on.
I know. Look, I lived with a guy and my brother. Like they're obsessed with horse racing.
Yeah.
And then they'll punt on it too.
Yeah, of course.
Like mad. But they're also obsessed, so they'll watch it when they're not punting. But I'm also saying like it's a sports bet out on SBS Chill.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to be here.
No, it doesn't. And they're making too much money. It'll go the way of cigarette advertising soon, I believe. They just have to, about 10 years' time, they'll need to figure out the legislation. They'll stop that. I remember when I was in the US in 2008 or whatever, and I tried to tell people there, in Australia, betting is really normal. You can go to any pub just about and put a bet on any sport you can think of. And they're like, that is wild, man. I can't believe that. Fast forward 15 years, they can do that there on their phones. They are not ready for that.
No,
the
they're
Americans, they will go so fucking crazy for that stuff.
I've seen all the ads. So I follow a couple of basketball YouTubers, and they're like, and even what's his name, Tim Dillon. You know Tim Dillon?
Yeah.
Tim Dillon's Kolshi or something. Have you heard of that platform?
No.
So there's a platform in the United States, and it's app based, right?
Yeah.
Where you can bet on anything.
Yeah.
So how long before Israel bombs Iran again?
Yeah.
They can bet on everything, like. And they can in Australian markets, but Australian markets are mostly sports-based.
Yep.
And you can bet on politics here, But the way that they've started to introduce gambling, it's like, oh, why limit it to sport? Let's
Yeah.
gamble on every outcome.
But we not look.
When is the US going to strike Venezuela?
But it's a fragile country already. They're very vulnerable with their susceptibility to drugs and alcohol, right? And there's a lot of domestic violence. There's a lot of poverty. There's all that sort of stuff. If you take somebody who already has done their money on drugs or whatever, and they have a chance to try and win it back, you're going to hook them on gambling too. That will happen so quickly.
It's insane.
And this is where it's not in every state, but sooner or later it's going to be.
Yeah.
And the poverty levels are going to go even higher through the roof.
Oh, I reckon it's already a third world country in a way. They've siphoned all the money out of that country. They're like something 10 trillion, something in debt. You know,
But doesn't 1% of the population have 90% of the wealth or something like that?
Isn't that a global statistic?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
And that's across China as well. Like, you know, you're talking about, China's got more billionaires than any other country on earth. So it's like, I don't know what there's nothing propping up the United States anymore. Like their gold reserves aren't even. I think their gold reserves were in question as well. So it's pretty interesting. That country, I reckon it's going to fall in the next 30 years.
Something's going to happen. I don't know what.
I reckon the US is going to go under. Yeah,
Well,
unfortunately.
Well, they're potentially a split in government or something like that. No.
I honestly do think that it's in strife.
Yeah.
And it's going to impact the West, obviously, which means it's going to impact us. But in case you haven't noticed, China's got a firm grip on Melbourne. So,
do you know what this reminds me of? I remember when I used to come into the city as a kid, and you and your mates would just start pointing at something, and then everyone would stop and look, and they start pointing. What are we looking at? Yeah. So once one person takes a photo of us, then two, then 10 people take. Yeah. They're like, "Oh, it must be photo worthy."
Yeah. It's wild, isn't it? It's fun, and this will happen to you too, out in the caravan. Except you've got a bigger name. People already know 3,000. They're gonna be, it's 3,000. Look.
Man, I tell you, this was kind of cool.
Hey, do you guys know who this is?
There you go.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. $100 a photo. $100.
No, it's free.
That's free.
She ran away.
No.
Oh, great.
No, but...
Thank you. Thank you.
No, this was kind of cool. On the way here, I stopped at a shop to pick up some stuff, and a dude recognized me from the podcast, and he was wearing one of my T-shirts.
You're kidding.
Nah. And I'm like, he's like, oh, I know you from the podcast. And I'm like, oh, dude, you're wearing... Yeah, it was cool.
That's like a moment. I don't even have T-shirts, but like that's a moment.
Yeah, that was cool.
That would be confronting.
He was fine. Man, this only happened...
Is it hard? Do you go... Should I say hello?
No, I always say hello. I always introduce myself.
Hey, did he spot you or you spotted him?
No, he spotted me.
Oh, okay.
But we're on Chapel Street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But yeah, and then he's like, oh, hey. And then he introduced me to his kid. He's like, he's watched some of the episodes as well, you know, and that's kind of cool. And
did you go down to his kid and you go, now you're not allowed to watch those anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, man, it was cool. And it's fun when people do kind of recognize you and have positive stuff to say. It's kind of cool.
Well, that is really cool, and I think that's a great outcome that's come from this whole experience. Because I'm sitting here listening to, like, obviously there's been a lot of trauma dumping and it's had an impact on you, but you can see it's having a broad impact on the community. I see a lot of engagement when I see all your content. It is having a good impact, and I do think that it's really important for us. And why I said before I'm such a proponent of podcasting is because it's showing people that we need to talk to each other again. We need to talk.
Yeah.
Hey, you and I, we got to talk.
Well, the thing is, right, with commercial radio, as shit as it has been,
it's
right,
dire.
Right, it's so bad and it's always been horrible. So we got, as people who have taste and are interested in conversations, we just didn't. We got done with that when we were teenagers. You know what I mean? And people talking lost its vibe. Podcasting has been the biggest, I think, revolution in media in the last 100 years, right? Because long form chats can come back. You can do it on your own terms.
Mm.
You don't need to worry about talking about Big Brother or talking about this new Pepsi product or talking about what, saying things that don't align with the advertisers. You can just talk. And it took a long time for the public to come around and realize that, because I think commercial radio just went so shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get onto podcasts until about 6 years ago. Like during COVID, I started doing it because I didn't know what else to do. I was late to the game, and I'm like, oh, this is actually interesting.
Yeah, you're late. That's what I said. That's what people said about Bitcoin when it was $1,000. I was late. I was late. People are saying it now at 100 grand. Oh, I'm late. You're not. You're not late. You're never late. That's the best Chinese proverb. Best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
There you go. Very good.
So,
Yeah.
I think I honestly think we're not late because there's such a need for what you're talking about. Such a need for people to sit down and talk to each other. Have conversations like this that are literally about nothing and then about everything.
Yeah.
And to show that you don't have to be ultra algorithmically locked into everything in life.
Yep. Forge your own path.
Yeah, you can actually have like a discussion with someone else that is just amicable and it covers different areas and topics and you weave in and out of things, and that's fine and that's good and that's normal. We're telling stories. It's not like, oh shit, I've got to listen to 15 minutes about how to do red light therapy from this guy, and then this guy's going to teach me how to do like nostril breathing, inverted nostril breathing technique, and then this podcast is about like how to do my shoelaces with my toes.
I'm teaching my son that at the moment.
Yeah, how to tie knots with your feet, and it's like, okay, cool. Everyone's got these niche, ultra niche podcasts, and look, they're all getting sponsored by weird things. Great,
Yeah.
but like, what happened to just two people going, oh man, this has been a tough year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the most organic and the best conversations that you don't know where you're taking them. And that's why I don't prepare questions and stuff. I know a bit about them, but I want it to go. Where do they want it to go? Where does it go?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to have an organic conversation and then talk about someone's first album that they brought, because that's just fucking, they're all over the shop.
Yeah. Anyway, we were supposed to talk about we were only supposed to talk about New Year's today. We barely talked about New Year's.
Well, what about if I come back in the new year and we can talk about New Year's?
We should.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you doing for like Chrissy? Anyway, New Year's. What do you do? Do you do stuff?
See, there's
This
the
is a
family
bit.
politics.
I'm
yeah.
sorry to.
No,
bring
it's
it.
all right. So yeah, we're going to do Christmas on our own for the first time with me and my little family, so my partner and my son, and just do our own.
Does
sort of
she
thing.
have a family?
She's got a mum, and she's got some sisters. But I think her mum's going to go to her sister's place this time. But her mum's looking after our son now. Her mum is awesome with our son. She does heaps with him, and
Oh, that's great.
yeah, it's good. She
Yeah.
moved down to us from. She was living in Geelong. She moved down to us,
Mm.
so that shows that
That's great.
she's in
Committed.
She's committed.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. Which is great, and I think.
I've seen a lot of new cameras today. I
Yeah.
didn't know that all these different lenses and
Thank
stuff
you.
existed. I'm so stuck in my Apple world.
Yeah, it's what kind of phone is that?
Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Is that a Huawei? Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, Christmas has always been a tough time of year for me.
yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
For a long, long time.
My
So-
grandpa died on Christmas Day.
Oh,
Stuff in my family seems to happen in like movie script shit. I don't know how, but like, yeah, he died Christmas Day, and then that made it
was
hard.
it a sudden as well? Or was
No,
it like
he
a
was
hospital?
unwell. He was in
Yeah.
hospital, but the day that he died, we went there at 4 a.m. and then he passed away at like 8 o'clock, and then we got to go do Christmas. Like it's hard. You can't cancel Christmas. But there's shit that happens in my life that just seems to be like, has someone written this script? It's just a bit odd.
Christmas.
Mm,
That's not merry.
no.
I mean,
No.
I don't know how to react to that. That's
No,
that is
it's-
like you said. It's like out of a movie.
Yeah, shit like that
It's-
happens to me in my like.
That would happen but that wouldn't happen. Like that would happen in either like, what's his name? Who's that guy from that movie? The British guy.
Hugh
Grant.
Grant. Yes, it's like
That
it's
would
like
happen
Love
in a
Actually
Hugh-
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would happen in a Hugh Grant movie.
yeah.
But it's kind of endearing, kind of funny.
And then people go, well, we've got to move on with it. We've got to go and still have Christmas. And
Yeah.
Yeah, so shit like that seems to happen with my family. I don't know what, or to me, I don't know
You
why.
seem like the right person to be able to extract a lot of important information out of people, though, because of these experiences that you've had. You seem like the person. If anyone can handle it's you. Obviously, you went a
Yeah.
bit maybe too hard, and you weren't ready for it.
Yeah, I don't
I,
know.
I was thinking about what you were talking about before with all of that, and I was like, hang on, wait a sec. I've had a bit of trauma dumping. Actually, I didn't release 2 early episodes that was trauma dumping
Oh,
because I wasn't ready to release them.
right,
I was totally ambushed by my guests. One of them, we were going to be talking about how she got into Kundalini yoga,
right.
and then we went into a lot of childhood
Yeah.
craziness, and like it was audio only at the time,
Yeah.
and so I always feel like something's off when
Yep.
I'm recording. But then when I go back and put the sound waves on the track, and then I can see them talking for 45 minutes straight, and my line's been flat the whole time, I'm like, okay, this isn't a podcast. This was something else. So I didn't release that. And that happened with another guy too, who then basically, we were going to talk about his documentaries that he'd filmed in the Maldives, and incredible docos, like one of my favorite docos. But then he started talking about how he was touched up by a teacher.
Yeah.
And kept on talking about that, and we never got onto the doco, so I never released that. Then
Because he was using that as therapy.
yeah,
Did he say, "Can we put it out" or anything?
no, I just said to him, I don't know if I can release this,
Okay,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Fair
then
enough.
we haven't really connected much since because I think he took it to heart. But I was like, we were going to talk about the Maldives. That's what we had an agenda for, like back
But
then.
you got to take the good with the bad. If you're going to have a fluent show, you got to let him go whichever.
It
But
wasn't
within
fluent
region.
back then.
Okay, yeah.
It was like episode 5.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, I didn't even know what I was doing, but I knew I wasn't ready to do that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But then after that, I got a job in recruitment. And with my job in recruitment, I lasted 4 years in that game, which is a long time for a recruiter.
Yeah.
I dealt with a lot of trauma dumping.
Yes.
So now, these days, and we've probably got to close this one out. These days, I might have a guest here that sits down and says a lot of heavy stuff. It's totally cool.
Yeah.
I can deal with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like with Darcy, who's the guy that came in off the street and sat down, I just sparked up a cigarette and I just sat there and went, yeah. I didn't take it on. I just kind of let the silence kind of just
Yeah.
take it from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just didn't feel like I needed to be the one that supplied words for his unimaginable situation that he'd been through. I was just
Did you
like,
put it out, that one?
I did, yeah.
Right,
that
yeah.
was episode 60 something.
Yep.
Darcy, I didn't get his surname. Never. I saw him once again. He passed by here through the street and gave me a thumbs up, but never saw him again after that. Don't know him. Don't have his details. Never got an email. Never exchanged. But he but I was just like, yeah, just if someone says something that's like heavy, just let the silence, just take it off us.
But it's hard to not take it home with you, though. That's the thing. That's the hard thing. That's what I want to learn. That's what I'm sort of going to the psychologist for, and for my own stuff. But then to not get triggered by the stuff that they talk about. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe the only thing I would say is like, just remember that you've given this person opportunity to share their story, and that's the reason that you did this.
Yeah.
And it's like, just remember that it's not about me taking on their stuff. It's just about me giving them an opportunity to share something really important that other people can learn from. That's it.
Yeah.
That's where it stays. That's my line.
Yeah.
My line is
I know. I need to learn that, and they're
It's
going to help me
boundaries.
with some tools to do that sort of stuff.
That's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been good, man.
Yeah, it's been great.
long. We've been talking for about I'm going to say an 240.
Yeah, goes quick. And whenever I'm sitting on the other side, I tell people that, and they're like, "No way, man!" And I'm like, "Yeah, it goes quickly when you just start talking."
That's true. I say that to guests. They're like, oh, 2 hours. They're like 2 hours. I go, don't worry, it'll go fast. And then I'm like, all right, cool. They're like, the last couple of guys will be like, what do you mean we're going to stop? I'm like, it's 2 hours. And they're like, oh, I don't feel like 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. It's man. I've had people that have come in for 4 hours and then come back and like want to do it again. And I'm like, yeah, it's but
know
yeah, no, I'm good. But I might have to actually get.
You got to go.
Oh, I think man, I've got to get to Brunswick by like. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get.
We were going to.
I know.
I got to.
Yeah, I know.
And this has been good.
Yeah, no worries. We'll do it again. I'm going to be in the city. Yeah, we'll wrap it up and then we can.
For sure. Do you want to do this? You do this.
I don't have one of these. It's kind
You
of
got
novelty.
give it a nice clap. Yes. That's
Cheers.
it.
Thanks,
Been
man.
awesome. Thank you, man.